Show on Real Radio 104.1.
That's right, guys. Here we go on a Tuesday edition of the Jim Colbert Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it on this hot Tuesday afternoon in Central Florida. We will get you caught up on what's happening out there. 3:20, Deb's Woke News will do that. 4 o'clock, it's our What'd You Do That's News segment. We'll go over my suggestion, which was the WTF with Mark Maron's interview with Smokey Robinson. We'll find out what Deb has to offer for us. 5 o'clock hour trivia. 6 o'clock, it's Ross Thoughts and Last Call. Your calls, text, and talkbacks all day long. Welcome to the program. I am Jim. To my left, my lovely and very dangerous co-host was Deb Roberts.
Hello there.
Straight ahead producer Jack Bradshaw.
Good afternoon.
Comedy alien Saucy Padgy.
Cream rules everything around me.
All right, 407-916-1041 Texas. How dare you start the show off with Wu-Tang?
Incorrectly.
All right, welcome to the show. I am Jim. And guys, how you doing today? Everybody good?
So far, so good. I'm a little bummed out.
Why are you bummed out?
I ran poorly. It was just so hot.
How do you run poorly?
Probably the
you either run or you don't. If you're running,
Yeah, what about times?
I mean,
What about distances?
Oh, what about dying? What about falling dead and then evaporating, and then all they find is your clothes, like the Wicked Witch of the West?
It's weird. Like, I don't know.
Is it as weird as this flex?
No, it's not a flex. I ran poorly. I tapped out at like a mile and a half, and I was like, I'm done.
Mile and a half?
I was done.
Oh, my God. Why even go outside?
Which I think is probably a mile and a half more than 90% of our audience. Right today.
90% of the show. Wait, Jack, did you go for a bike ride?
I went for a bike ride. I
Okay,
did.
50% of the show.
Yeah, but at least with that bike ride, you get a little breeze.
That's right.
A little breeze.
Did my 9 miles to Aldi.
Let me ask you, man, do you feel like you get a good workout with that? Because
No.
okay. Okay, I'll stop right there. Next topic.
No, so I know it. I know I build up my cardiovascular.
Sure, yeah.
I was sweating by the time I get home, right? But I'm not killing it.
Yeah.
But what I do know is since I've been doing it, I have lost weight. But that was.
But you're not gaining muscle, right? Like you don't feel muscle tired at the end of that. Like you don't feel trembly
in my legs, and I wouldn't have. There was only one thing that happened in the past 3 years that made me realize this, and it was you, Jim.
Thank you.
We were actually. It was our weekend at Margaritaville, and we were walking from where we were staying up the ramp, and I was walking, and it was a pretty long ramp. And I was walking it no problem, and I was kind of in the lead, and you were back, and you're like, don't pretend like this isn't painful. And, and it wasn't. So I'm like, oh, I guess riding a bike really paid off.
Yeah. So where I found out that I was in horrible shape, other than just the mirror and general observation.
Are you sure it wasn't the small slope that defeated you? That Jack trick?
No. Listen. When we just did the run for Orlando City Soccer.
Yeah.
Right. And the brilliant planner of that event made the last 100 yards up that hill, because if you go below the soccer stadium, that ramp that goes up onto the field is, it's a ramp. I mean, it's a pretty good climb. And what do you guys figure? It's 50 yards or so up the hill?
Well, I don't remember it.
It was down.
It was down.
No, dude. Going out when you come out of the stadium to go up onto the field, you go up for sure. Without question. Or when the other way, definitely you went
Maybe
up.
when you left?
Yeah.
No, dude.
Yeah, the field is actually lower than the street level.
Okay, I understand that, but there's during that underneath that maybe it's the parking area. We went around back. There is definitely a hill there, because I remember looking at my wife and said, "Who planned this at the very end of this run?" Like we just got through running 3.5 miles, and then all of a sudden we're tasked with an uphill trek. Like, my God, man! I'm not trying to climb a mountain here. I'm trying to do something for charity. I don't want to die.
There was a curb there. I remember that.
Okay, God, it wasn't a curb, Jack. Thanks, I appreciate that. My God Almighty!
And then I also
it wasn't a handicap ramp.
And just because we're still talking about fitness, I got my first injury today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
All right. No
Yeah.
weird flex.
What happened? Strain your cooch?
I was trying. No, so I remember at the start of the year when I told you that my goal is 10 pull-ups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me the other day. Oh, no.
I got one.
You got one.
I can do one.
Okay, that's a solid though.
Yeah. And I do one, and I take a break. I breathe. And then I try to hit a second one. And then I did the second one today. Not, I took the break in between each one. And then I tried the third one, Deb. pulled as hard as I could, and then my right butt cheek.
Oh man, you strained a glute.
I strained a glute.
But how do you strain a glute when you're using your arms?
That's what I'm saying.
Because you're pulling hard from the inside.
Because you're squeezing.
I'm squeezing.
Did you give yourself a Charlie horse in the butt? Because that's a special kind of hurt.
You got to rub that out right away.
He's got a tiny
Yeah, Jack. Did you offer?
He's
Yeah,
got
come
a
here.
tiny ass.
I do.
You have a tiny ass.
Me and my
That's more
wife.
plum-like.
Oh, wait, we call them grapefruits.
Oh yeah.
I think each cheek is similar to a grapefruit.
Does it hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt worse tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not
Like
great.
2 days from now, you're not gonna be able to sit, dude.
I know.
That's the thing is you have those muscle pains. You're like, oh, that was a stinger, and then 2 days later, you are begging to die.
So I think we understand why Ross was disappointed in his run today.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I hurt
buddy.
myself and I ran sad.
All right, it's a sad run,
It was a sad
Like
run.
listening to Sarah McLachlan or what?
like a post-divorce workout.
I grabbed my headphones to go run. Dead.
Which one?
Battery's dead.
Hate when that happens.
Oh, the AirPod things. or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah. I just forgot that they were dead yesterday.
yeah. That happens.
So I was just running to my breathing, and I was like, yeah, I
oh.
need to stop vaping.
Well, in a similar story, I walked by my gym today, so
Hey!
we basically did the
Wait,
same thing.
The one inside your home?
Yes, 407-916-1041. You can text. Let's not linger.
See,
Are
I
we
don't-
lingering?
I-
This feels
Call
that a
feels-
hallway?
This feels lingery.
I don't even have that excuse.
Yeah, I'm comfortable here, actually.
By the way, real quick, that thing is upstairs. So if I have to walk upstairs to work out.
Yeah.
Okay?
You have to work out to work out.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not old news. That's
I strained a glute getting to my glute straining area.
yeah.
Put it in an elevator.
I'm not going to stop. I already had one of those.
We know.
It sucked. I never rode it. I never used it. Can't strain a glute on that.
Oh, dude, that's so below, Jim. Get a magic rug.
All right, 407-916-1041. You can text us at 77031. So our friends from Pyrospot have tasked us with something. Obviously that's our lean in for when fireworks time comes, which is right around the corner, July 4th, not far away. I was talking to my buddy Craig over at Pyrospot, and they're creating a JCS package over there.
Oh, cool.
And it's going to be pretty badass. And you already know that you get incredible deals there. I mean, it's one of the many reasons that we endorse Craig. He's a great guy, and he has great products, but he wants everybody to have a good time, 4th of July, and just blow their neighborhood apart. And we do have this package, but the thing is we need to come up with a name for it.
All right.
That's the thing is, like, we need to come up with a name for the Jim Colbert Show package, which means you get, like, 500-gram cakes. You get all kinds of other stuff, fountains, assortments, 8-ball Roman candles. Mortar kits. It's going to be bananas.
Well, why don't we name it after you?
We are literally 3 weeks to the day away from July 4th.
I know.
I also like how fireworks just filled with a bunch of drug references.
I'm telling you,
We got 500 gram, we got 8 ballers, we got whatever you want.
That's a funny bit, by the way. But let me tell you, the best fun you can have at the tent is reading the labels and looking at the artwork for
The
these
best.
things. Oh, it is. I don't know who does that, but it is
The Chinese.
Well, guess
They
what?
did invent it,
They really found their secret power then. Because, naming these like the Taliban Retribution or something. It's a guy in a turban sitting on a tank, and he's got his arms are bazookas.
I think they use AI.
It's bananas, man. But
No, we name it after you. We'll call it the Hothead.
okay, that's stupid.
Well, what would
I'm not a
happen?
hothead. You take that back.
What would happen though?
Or I'll kill you.
If we, I didn't say that. Don't
Okay,
look
I know.
at me.
I'm looking at you because I don't want to look at him because
Oh,
I'll get
okay.
madder or more angry.
Well, that
See,
kind
he's
of
a
proves.
hothead.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't help
Yeah.
your point.
I know, but I'm not trying to make a point with you.
Are we lingering again?
No, it seems like we're lingering. This is very lingery.
So your gym is on the second floor?
It's on the second floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have any other reason to go up there?
No, not really. That's where my poker room is. We hadn't had a game in a while, but the poker table's up there too. Look, this deal is incredible. So we need to come up with something that when people can go in, they're like, I want this package, and everybody will know it comes from our show. That listeners from our show. So we'll kind of get to that a little bit later as well. We have that today. We have a bunch of stuff.
JCS Blast Pack.
Oh man, that doesn't sound bad.
Are the fireworks do they represent us as well?
Well, I mean, what do you mean?
I don't know. Like,
Are you the mortar?
I'm the mortar kit. Oh, I am the mortar kit because yeah.
thank you.
It's just a fire tube.
Well, I see more of a snake.
No, I'm not a snake. Get out of here. What are you? You're the snake. Call me a snake.
I'm not calling you a snake. I'm calling you a snake firework.
You're a child sparkler. How's that?
Oh!
Hey, You know what?
He's the
Sparklers.
eight-baller.
Sparklers hurt everybody.
Real Mobile 77031. The Screaming Eagle. JCS Screaming Eagle.
That's a good
I gotta
one.
tell you, I think they have a 500-gram cake, which is just basically a fireworks show in a box. You light one fuse and you stand back, and it just does all the work for you. They have one called the Pissed Eagle or something like that. Because that's what they do. They just take animals and make them angry.
Yeah, I just like how fireworks, their narrative, they just went, no, we're not going to less. We're just going to quadruple down.
Somebody said boomers, boomer.
Ooh.
Star Spangled Jimmy Swimmies.
Oh, stop it with the Jimmy Swimmies thing.
I'm
My
telling
God
you,
almighty.
it's sticking. Jimmy Swimmies and Pickleback
Also-
Jack is here to stay.
I want to talk about a business. I saw a spot for a business today on Facebook, and I have to tell you, it is genuinely one of the best ideas I've seen in a long, long time for like your personal life, right? There's always these great little projects or little things you can do, to remember, family members. We photo albums for our generation, Jack, I would guess would be accurate.
Yes.
What would it be for your generation?
God, I have no idea.
Like, just a one of those frames that flips the pictures back and forth, or
yeah,
maybe
I don't know, dead people's social media accounts.
Okay,
An,
that's
an avatar of a past relative.
Yeah, that's like kind of where I'm getting at.
But this was a really, really cool idea. Plus, we have so much other stuff. I mean, the Nuggets win the championship last night.
Spoiler alert.
And my favorite thing of the entire thing is Nikola is Jokic, right?
Oh, yeah.
Jokic, right? Did you see his response to the win?
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. I mean, this guy just won the national championship, best basketball team in the world. He was the MVP not only for the championship, but I believe for the entire season.
Well, not this year, but he was the two-time reigning MVP.
Right. So you can't get more accolades. Then he wins. The team's never won the NBA championship, and afterwards, all he said was, "I'm ready to go home. The job is done. I'm ready to go home." Then he doubles down. During a press conference, they look at him and say, or the reporter says, "How do you feel about the parade?" And he said, and he turns to his translator and says something, and then you could hear him say parade. He was speaking in, what are they?
He's from Serbia.
It's Serbia, so it would be Serbian, I guess.
Yeah.
He was speaking to him in Serbian, and the translator says the parade is Thursday, which would be a couple days. And he put his hands on his head and goes, no, want to go home. He just wants to go home.
And let the guy go.
He does not look like it's just a job to him. This guy could literally be running an elevator at one of the towers in New York, and it would seemingly be the same thing. Basketball is his job, and that seems to be it.
You should see the footage of him getting his first MVP, I think it was, where they fly the MVP trophy over to Serbia and they meet him like on his farm.
Because he's out of there as soon as the season's over. He's ready to go.
He walks out with like a white tank top, jeans, and boots next to a cow, and he takes the award, says thanks, and just goes back inside his
I
home.
love it. I absolutely love that. There's another thing that we've heard about for many years, a crime that is really kind of showing a resurgence. We'll tell you about that. Plus, a new study on obesity as well. Deb, what's coming up for news?
Well, Trump has pleaded not guilty. An Orlando police officer fled a traffic stop by a Seminole County
The
deputy.
video's the greatest. Oh, man. See ya.
Yeah, you got some splaining to do, and then it's the end of an era for a popular TV game show. We'll talk about all of that and more coming up next during Woke News.
Thanks, Deb. 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Back in a sec with Deb's News and more of The Jim Colbert Show.
Make your smart speaker smarter. Hey, Google, play Real Radio 104.1 on iHeartRadio.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
What's happening, family? Hopefully your Tuesday is going well. And right now on the major highways and roads of Orlando, we're seeing a pretty clear traffic flow. But of course, your usual delay on I-4, that's east and westbound approaching State Road 535. Beside that, east and westbound of the 408 is clear. North and southbound of the Turnpike is clear, as well as the Greenway. And the rest of the major highways and roads are incident-free. Our Safe Touch Security traffic tip line number is 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Brian Black.
This report is sponsored by Fontainebleau's Summer Paradise Getaway.
Fontainebleau Miami Beach is your summer paradise getaway. Taste incredible food from 8 casual and fine dining restaurants, or spend an out-of-the-ordinary night at Live Nightclub. Save up to 25% plus. Receive up to a $100 resort credit when you stay 4 nights or more, June through September. Book now at FountainBlue.com.
When you go to GiveMeTheVin.com, we treat you like a customer, not a number. We pay the most, we pay fast, and we take care of you because you're our customer. And that's why our reviews are awesome.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Midsummer Days. We're celebrating with fun in-store events for IKEA family members and lots of savings.
Oh, hi. I'm looking for extra chairs to host my pickleball team dinner.
We can help you save on that and more.
Great. And that flower crown looks amazing.
Come make your own in-store on June 23rd through 25th. Plus, buy tickets to the June 23rd Swedish Midsummer Buffet at your local store. Go to IKEA-USA.com/midsummer for more details. Offer valid 5/30 to 7/4. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store on IKEA-USA.com for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
After an accident, it's important to hire an attorney right away. Evidence can disappear quickly. Sure, you could wait to hire an attorney later and see how things turn out, but delays never make a case better. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. JustCallMo.com. Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
Here's what a Fence Outlet customer said about her experience.
After researching several fence companies, my husband and I decided to go with Fence Outlet. They gave us several fencing options and were quick with responses and ideas. They even offered 0 down, 0% financing for 12 months, which was huge for us. We are loving our Fence Outlet fence that adds to the beauty of our home and security for our family.
Thank you, Fence Outlet.
Go to FenceOutlet.com today. Financing with approved credit. License number C-10252 and C-10803.
Pool season is here, but open roles got you underwater? Check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
IDC's giving you a reprieve from sky-high interest rates with an unbelievable offer right now. 0% interest financing on practically everything. All rings, all earrings, all bands, all bracelets, all designer jewelry, even GIA certified diamonds. Buy now and get fast, easy 0% financing for 5 years. That $9,000 engagement ring comes to just $150 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Say no to high prices and high rates. Get the guaranteed best price and enjoy 0 interest financing. Only at International Diamond Center.
This 0% finance offer at IDC is insane. People are driving for hours to do this. It's 5 years, 0 interest financing. Whether you spend $3,000 or $30,000, you can spread your payments over 5 years with 0 in interest. And this includes every diamond at IDC. All shapes, from 1 carat to 20 carats, GIA certified diamonds. Get the extreme value price IDC is known for a limited time. Enjoy 5 years, 0 interest financing. Now through July 2nd at International Diamond Center.
4 Orlando locations on approved credit.
Hey shoppers, this is your local farmer letting you know that Florida watermelon is in season and available in the produce section right now. Whoa, hey, careful now. There's plenty of juicy watermelon and other tasty Florida-grown produce for everyone. I mean, all you have to do is ask for Fresh from Florida or look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo while you shop. We're going to need a lot more help at checkout.
Home title theft. It's on the rise, and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert. And that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Hey shoppers, this is your local farmer letting you know that Florida watermelon is in season and available in the produce section right now. Whoa, hey, careful now. There's plenty of juicy watermelon and other tasty Florida-grown produce for everyone. I mean, all you have to do is ask for Fresh from Florida or look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo while you shop. lot more help at checkout.
Wendy's Strawberry Frosty is back for the summer. Because if it's summertime, it's Frosty time. Beach time, Frosty time. Tea time, Frosty time. Me time, Frosty time. Treat yourself to Wendy's Strawberry Frosty this summer and make time for Frosty time. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. Now open till midnight or later.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary.
Hi, I'm Joel Osteen. I've learned that you'll never meet the right people unless you get rid of the wrong people. Life is too short to hang around people that are pulling you down, draining your energy, keeping you from your best. I have a podcast where I talk about choosing the right people, having great relationships, so you can become all you were created to be. It's inspiring and encouraging. I think you'll enjoy it. Listen to the Joel Osteen podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
On the app or in store, Orlando runs on Duncan.
You can watch radio being made on a daily basis. Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show, Real Radio 104.1, 407-916-1041. Text us easily at 77031. Welcome to the program. Thanks for listening today. We appreciate that on this blazing hot Tuesday afternoon here in Central Florida. I am Jim. Jack and Ross are right over there. Let's get a check of the news. Here's Deb.
And now, it's time.
Anything happen out there?
Woke News.
Well, something. I hear there's a kerfuffle in South Florida.
On the Jim Colbert Show.
Well, Woke News is brought to you by that mortgage guy, Don. And isn't there always a kerfuffle going on in South Florida?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you're right. Former President Trump has pleaded not guilty to federal charges related to his handling of classified documents. He appeared at an arraignment hearing at a federal courthouse in Miami today. Trump became the first former president to be indicted on federal charges last week. Meanwhile, the 45th president did not take a mugshot, or was he handcuffed during his arraignment today? ABC News reports Trump did not have to go through the normal procedures when he entered his plea. The former president didn't have to empty his pockets either, and his hands were scanned for electronic fingerprints.
There you go.
Now, police in Miami say, hey, they've been ready for days now for Trump's arraignment. Police Chief Manuel Morales says they prepared to handle crowds of up to 50,000 people. There are some, looks like a fairly decent crowd presence, but not a 50,000 people.
Yeah,
it doesn't look that way to me. This comes as though both supporters of the former president and those who oppose him are planning protests outside of the federal courthouse, including a group of Orlando MAGA supporters who, according to the Orlando Sentinel, boarded a bus to Miami to support, quote, Daddy, end quote, Trump.
Stop.
No,
Daddy.
I'm not kidding.
Daddy
That's
Trump.
what it says there.
I know. That's the funny part.
That Daddy. All right. The Orange County Sheriff's Office is denouncing all forms of hate speech following an incident near Walt Disney World over the weekend. About 15 people took part in a 2-hour demonstration in Lake Buena Vista on Saturday. Police say the group was holding signs with swastikas and anti-Semitic rhetoric while also showing support for Governor Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign. Now, the Sheriff's Office released a statement saying that while what these groups do is revolting and is condemned by the department, they did not commit a criminal act. Several state representatives and Central Florida Jewish organizations also spoke out against the incident. It just goes to show that, they're exercising their First Amendment rights, and it ties law enforcement hands. They can't.
It seems like a setup to me. I'm going to be dead honest with you. It seems like somebody put them up to it just so they could get photographs of them outside Disney for the sake of campaign purposes. Is what it seems like to me.
Really?
Yeah,
Set up by whom?
I don't know. If you're
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, if you're President Trump and you have this game, and you're like, hey, well, look, let's send some people down. I'm not saying this is what happened, but if you're a political opponent,
right,
and you want the ultimate incendiary situation, you send Nazis, or neo-Nazis down by Disney, and you do it where it looks like they're in support of your political enemy. That's what it seems like to me, but I could be wrong.
Well, I mean,
way to think like a politician.
I mean,
Yeah, everything's got an alternate meaning, right?
Oh, man, don't even get me started on this whole theory that all of this stuff is happening to Trump because they knew it would bolster the base, and they actually want Trump to be the Republican nominee. Because they think, well, the Democrats think, and I believe this wholeheartedly, that if Trump is the nominee, we lose. Republicans lose 100%.
Well, I know Thune talked about that today, but still, some polls have shown that his approval rating has gone up 25 points since the indictment last week. So we're just treading into all new territory.
But we are finally starting to see some cracks. So a Republican congressman from Colorado today said, and this is a fervent supporter, said, I would not support a felon to run for the White House. So you're going to find some very interesting things happen if any one of these indictments stick. Even just one charge sticks, that makes him a felon, and that makes it very interesting for Republicans to get behind.
How wild would it be to have a president that can't vote? That's so wild.
Well, speaking of our governor, DeSantis is calling for a U.S. Army base in North Carolina to be restored to its previous name. The base's name was changed to Fort Liberty in 2020 instead of being called Fort Bragg, which was named after Confederate General Braxton Bragg. DeSantis attended a GOP convention in North Carolina late last week as part of his presidential campaign, and at that event, he says that if he becomes president, he would restore the name back to Fort Bragg. Today's What'd You Do That's New. My choice is actually a little over a 6-minute segment from CBS Sunday Morning of military brass explaining these very decisions and the history behind the names, which to me was the most fascinating.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of the governor, now you guys are going to have to explain this part to me because you guys are the baseball fans and would understand the minor league aspect of this more than myself. But the governor has just signed a bill that allows minor league baseball teams to pay their players less than the state's minimum wage. Florida's Republican-controlled legislature passed the measure that incorporates into the state's minimum wage law an exemption for minor league baseball players in the federal Fair Labor Standards Act. Now, the hourly rate for the federal minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. Florida's current minimum wage is $11 per hour, but it is set to go up to $12 in September.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, well, I know baseball wanted to not be forced to have to pay their players more in the minor leagues. So they were looking for an exemption from the law, and I believe got it. So
yeah, interesting. I never knew that.
They do not have to raise what they are paying their minor league baseball players.
And I've only heard the narrative of how little they get paid already.
Yeah.
In the sense of they all have jobs.
That's what I was shocked by.
I did know that. A number of AA guys I knew had jobs.
They all have jobs. And then they're also trying to fulfill this dream
of getting into the majors.
So
yeah, well,
that's a bummer.
That's what I thought when I read it. So the One Pulse Foundation is looking for a location for a permanent space to remember the lives lost in the Pulse nightclub massacre. We do know that yesterday, was the 7-year anniversary of the shooting that killed 49 people and injured 53 more. But the One Pulse Foundation says they can't have a permanent memorial and museum on the nightclub property because they've been unable to acquire it. Not only that, the cost has gone up so much exponentially that they've said, we got to go back to the drawing plan with this whole idea.
Right, yeah.
So the temporary memorial will stay at its current location until next April, and that's when the foundation's lease on the land is up. All right, for this next story, feel free to go to JimColbertLive.com. Jack put the video up so that you can follow along, because this is really... I was saying to Jimmy, I wouldn't doubt if this goes viral just because of the very nature of it. I've never seen a video of this kind before.
I haven't either. It was brutal.
Where an Orlando police officer is in hot water after he was pulled over for speeding, but then said, nah, bro, I got to go to work, and he fled the traffic stop.
He got aggro from the minute he got out of his vehicle.
Yeah, it's like, why are you stopping me? Like, we're supposed to be, the blue crew here.
Hey, give me your license. No.
The recent exchange was caught on body cam worn by a Seminole County deputy who stopped Orlando police officer Alexander Shawnee for reportedly doing 80 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. Again, body camera footage shows the officer showing the deputy his license before getting back in his car and taking off with his emergency flashing lights on. The Orlando Police Department says, Shawnee's been relieved of duty. He's charged with reckless driving and resisting and fleeing from a law enforcement officer. That's going to be an interesting defense when you are a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, and he wasn't in his cruiser taking it home. He was fully. I mean, he was on his way to work. He was fully vested up, the whole 9 yards. And boy, what an arrogant douchebag that guy was. I mean, straight up. That guy was, and this is another cop trying to be cool to this guy, trying to be cool to this guy, and he was just douching out, straight up broing out on him immediately. It was, and by the way, the road he was speeding on is a road I travel every day of my life, Florida Avenue over there in Geneva, in that area out there, and it is a narrow ass road with 4-foot ditches on either side. It's ridiculous.
Well, apparently he's done that drive many a time.
Good Lord.
Sounds like a challenge, doesn't it? See if you can get it up to 80 in a 45.
Yeah, somebody texted earlier about that when you mentioned it in news and said, you know what, cops hate it when cops make people, make them look bad for situations like this, because automatically, there's another cop, trying to swag out and trying to show that he's flexing, trying to get away with everything.
He gets to speed when I couldn't do 80 in a 45 and not be taken to jail for that kind of speed.
Oh, that would be so infuriating.
But then someone else texted and said that that the deputy is also going to get crapped on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, there are signs the tropics may be heating up. In its latest discussions, the National Hurricane Center says it's tracking not 1, not 2, but 4 tropical waves, including 2 in the Atlantic and a pair in the Caribbean. Now, the latest outlook says no tropical cyclone formation is expected during the next 7 days, and the National Hurricane Center Miami's Dr. Richard Pash says most tropical waves don't even develop into any threat. Actually, the Atlantic sees roughly, how many tropical waves do you think we see a year?
48.
48?
32.
Jack?
48, 32. I'm going to shoot it. 44.
Ross, the closest. 50 to 60 annually.
Wow.
Yeah. Of which only a handful or so grow into full-fledged tropical storms or hurricanes. The next named storm will be second of the season, and it will be Brett.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, kind of like how he wrecked Mississippi's, welfare fund.
Nobody likes Bretts.
All right, Orange County residents, be on the lookout. Another black bear has been spotted in the area. Sheriff's office says the young bear climbed a tree on John Young Parkway near Silver Star Road in Orlando earlier this morning. Police watched over the animal until Florida wildlife officials arrived. Of course, similar incident reported just last week at Lake Eola Park, where thankfully that bear was captured by the FWC and relocated to the Ocala National Forest. Then we had that other small black bear that was spotted in Winter Park, which was unfortunately hit by the car. Officials recommend giving these animals space since they will typically move away on their own.
Yep.
I don't think I would recover very quickly if I hit a bear with my car.
Yeah.
I think I would be a little traumatized.
A little shook.
I've been thinking about Little Bear and stuff. I know. I've been thinking about, porridge. There's a lot of stuff with bears in all of our childhood.
My grandma with little baby grandma kittens.
The bummer.
Anyway, the average price for a home in Tampa. How much do you think the average price for a home in Tampa is?
$410.
$540.
Oh, there's another gap for you, dog.
Yeah, I know, but Deb's reaction of being shocked, I'm going to... 400?
He's the closest, 370.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, real estate app Zillow says the average home values across the U.S. jumped 1.4% from April to May this year. That's the highest month-to-month increase over the past year. The average home value in Tampa, I kid you not, is higher than the national average.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that checks out. Is it national average with all cities? Because any city living is going to be more expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, Tampa, Tampa is unique because not only is it a big city with a lot of cool stuff, it includes basically St. Pete and Clearwater, but you also get the beautiful, the
riverfront, the
ocean,
beaches.
Rivers, all kinds of stuff over there, beaches.
And they don't have the, as we've noticed with the hurricane season, they don't have the issues with their beachfront property like you hear on the Atlantic. Like, Daytona Beach Shores and New Smyrna Beach, just the coastline just eating away. The beaches, it just seems like you don't see them as much. It's also among the highest in the state. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're Gen Z, it turns out a new study says you should check out Jacksonville because that's one of the most attainable cities for Gen Z homeowners. Yep. The study from Today's Homeowner ranked Jacksonville 8th in the top 10 cities for most attainable homeownership for residents 25 years old. Housing affordability was better than Tampa and Miami, according to this study.
And I tell you, there's some beautiful beaches up there in North Florida, too. They don't get a lot of notoriety, but they're nice.
But eighth in Florida or nationwide? because excuse me, I remember not too long ago they were doing a story about how out of reach new home ownership is because these companies were just buying all the available homes and using and renting them out.
Yeah.
So it made it harder for people. And one of the places they were focusing on was the Jacksonville area.
And just maybe because the real estate's so achievable up there. Maybe they're just buying it because it was cheaper.
Because I always thought that was a bigger issue, like in Osceola County. You were having like that. Osceola County has almost more foreign home ownership, more foreign investment in homes than almost anywhere else in Central Florida. It's such an attractive, piece of property for someone from Europe or wherever, where this doesn't look that expensive.
Right.
The Daytona International Speedway, I thought this was really interesting, may soon host Jacksonville Jaguar games.
Yeah, that's a big talker right now in the world of sports. Brandon said he talked about it pretty much all day yesterday.
Yeah, well, the team is searching for a venue to use while their stadium is being renovated. The Daytona International Speedway is one of the locations being considered. The team is also looking at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at the University of Florida, as well as Camping World Stadium in Orlando. I think those two make much better choices since they're already kind of set up to, for football.
Yeah, the only thing is, the Daytona's halfway.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not that far. I mean, I think, Jackson was like an hour and 15 minutes from Daytona, maybe a little bit more. But
I'm curious how they'd set it up. And I know they've done other events. They did the Orlando Pride match there as well. You have grandstands on one side of it.
Yeah.
But do they build something on the other side for this?
That is wild because people don't realize how big it is inside that thing.
It's huge.
It's massive.
Is.
Yeah.
But a decision isn't expected for months.
I'd watch just to see what it looks like.
How they did it. Our other sports note, of course, the Nuggets did what they needed to do over Miami last night, but tonight it's do or die for the Florida Panthers in Vegas tonight. With the Golden Knights just one win away from the NHL Stanley Cup, the Panthers could be without their star player in Game 5 tonight. Matthew Tkachuk is dealing with an undisclosed injury. Coach Paul Maurice, says the goal is to survive and get back home. Sounds a little bit like Jokic, right?
Yeah.
Puck drops from T-Mobile Arena at 8 o'clock Eastern tonight.
You think sports fans in Miami consider this a successful year where their hockey team and their basketball team both reach the finals?
They have to. If they don't, they're ridiculous. I mean, my God.
You're leaving on the stinging disappointment of a championship loss.
Yeah, I know. But, man, if the Magic made it and, whatever team we would have made it, I would consider that a success.
Do you think it was a successful 4-year run in the early 90s for the Buffalo Bills, who won 4 straight NFC championships?
But no Super Bowl?
And lost 4 straight Super Bowls?
Yeah.
You know what's weird? I couldn't tell you those 4 winners.
The Giants were one.
Yeah.
I know that.
Norwood's wide left.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we might want to think of starting up a GoFundMe account.
Okay. I'm into this.
Because Elizabeth Holmes's lawyers argue that the former Theranos CEO has, quote, limited financial means, end quote, and shouldn't be forced to pay $250 a month to victims of her crimes after she's released from prison. Just a moment.
Do you know how much she owes?
Federal prosecutors said that no payment schedule was set for her restitution because of clerical errors. She and her former coup, Sunny Balwani, were previously ordered to pay
$452 million
to their victims. Holmes reported to prison last month to serve her 11-plus year sentence.
You doing some math, Jack?
No, I'm assuming it's right.
It is right.
It is right.
Yeah.
It is right.
Let's see. I'm just going to figure this out real quick.
I'm like, well, I guess that's right.
So you got $450 million. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, $250 a month. I mean, whatever it takes.
How many months is that?
Oh, I don't think there's enough lifetimes at $250 a month for $452 million. You done with that math there, Jimmy?
1.8 million years.
Okay. All right, and finally, longtime Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak is planning to retire next year after more than 40 years on the popular TV game show. He made the announcement in a tweet Monday saying the upcoming 41st season will be his last. The 76-year-old said it's been a, quote, wonderful ride, end quote, adding that he'll have more to say in the coming months. Sajak started on Wheel of Fortune back in 1981 alongside co-host Vanna White. The show's 41st season is set to begin in September.
I remember when Chuck Woolery left to go do whatever, and Pat Sajak took over. Actually, it wasn't Pat at first. A guy named Ray Combs did it, wound up killing himself in a closet or
No,
something.
that was Family Feud.
Yeah, you're right, Family.
That's
But
the real
What?
Family Feud.
Yeah.
Ray Combs was one of the Family Feud hosts,
After
and
Dawson
he ended up
left.
committing suicide.
I'm gonna have to look into that one because I only remember that nasty freak Dawson.
Survey says sadness.
Yeah. But Chuck Lorre used to do the 2 and 2. I'll be back in 2 and 2 when the minutes were 2 minutes, where the breaks were 2 minutes and 2 seconds long. And back in the day, you didn't get the money. What would happen is when you won whatever the money was, they would roll back this curtain, and there would be a bunch of stuff up on the like a shopping plaza,
Right.
And everything had a price. Like, okay, Pat, okay, Chuck, I'll take the washer dryer. I'll take the bronze lion and the scooter.
And it's always overpriced, and you use up the money. And then when you get down to like under 500s, it was always the
Gift
cheapest
certificate.
thing. Well, I think at the very end, but as long as there wasn't anything that they could still buy, there was always this ceramic Dalmatian for $250.
Right, exactly.
So
There was
it's
always
like-
something at the very end. And then
I
they
don't
would add-
remember this.
it was the
Ceramic
greatest.
Dalmatian.
It was
Yeah.
the greatest thing. They say, we'll give them the rest of the gift certificate.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
That is. Talk about it's like almost a completely different game show.
It was.
Because now everyone's like, no, bitch, give me the money.
Yeah, give me the cash.
I got bills.
That's right. Give me them dollars. And now you all are officially woke. And Woke News is brought to you by Home Loans Radio with that mortgage guy, Don. He has this great feature on his website that lets him show you the broker difference. All you need to do is go to thatmortgageguydon.com. While you're there, click the compare quote button and upload your quote. That's it. He'll interpret it for you, tell you how much you are actually paying the bank or retail lender for your loan, and if you can get a better deal. But that mortgage guy, Don, is so honest that if you already have a great deal, he'll tell you that too. It really is peace of mind at your fingertips, so don't miss the boat. Compare your quote at thatmortgageguydon.com.
Thanks, Zeb. 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Back in a sec with more of the Jim Colbert Show.
Winning Wednesdays happen every Wednesday on our Instagram page at Real Radio 1041 with a new prize available every Wednesday. Real Radio 1041 on Instagram is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
From the Rude Air Conditioning Weather Center, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Allison Gargaro with a look at your Central Florida forecast. Afternoon highs today will be soaring to the mid-90s through the Orlando metro, with feels-like temperatures ranging anywhere from 100 up to 103 degrees. Make sure you're staying hydrated and take breaks inside the AC. This afternoon, we're monitoring a 20% chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Always remember to depend on the Fox 35 Storm Team. I'm meteorologist Allison Gargaro.
This report is sponsored by Fresh from Florida.
I'm back. And look at all the Fresh from Florida produce I brought home.
Fresh from Florida produce, as fresh can get.
It's refreshing to know that locally grown Fresh from Florida produce is available year-round.
Well, that's a breath of fresh air.
Look for Fresh from Florida where you shop.
From the Florida Department of Agriculture.
Let me tell you something about Mills Air real quick. Deb's mother had her AC quit. She called a company she'd been dealing with for many, many years to take it over because she's like, well, that's who I deal with. Those guys came out, told her at the last minute, oh, we can't do this in the late in the day because, we need to be up there in the morning. Well, she's 75 years old. It's 100 degrees outside. I made a phone call to Leon Mills today to see if we can get a tech over there to see if we can help Deb's mom. You know where Leon was? He was on vacation fishing out in the ocean. But he returned my text and set up that meeting so that Deb's mom doesn't have to deal with that heat. That is exactly what you get when you hire Mills Air. These guys are the absolute best, run by one of the greatest guys ever. Leon is wonderful, and that entire attitude that he has about customer service bleeds down all the way through the company. That's the kind of action you get. 30-plus years of experience taking care of Central Floridians to make sure they're comfortable in their own homes and that they can have a nice night's sleep and enjoy their homes. That's what they do. Their techs are wonderful people. They know these systems inside and out. They will tell you the truth. They will give you an honest assessment of where your AC system is at all times. And right now is when you should be doing that. Their preventive maintenance plan is a must. That way you don't have to deal with what Deb's mom is dealing with right now, which is hot air in your house when you don't want it there. Get with these guys and let them take care of you. They're factory carrier authorized dealers, and that can get you up to $1,275 in rebates towards that brand new carrier unit. Call these guys today. It's 407-277-1159. Online, millsair.com.
Here's a top move for hiring a divorce attorney. See how they look and handle themselves on video or audio. Chances are that's them at their best, with editing, setup, and multiple takes. The courtroom is live. Mediation is live. Make sure your divorce lawyer is going to make you look good. At Trenley Kramer Law, we handle family law and divorce. TK Law, onefirmforlife.com.
My fellow Americans, RC Hill here from RC Hill Mitsubishi. I think it's high time we celebrate. To help you relieve stress and start having fun again. It's time to let freedom ride and break free from your old ride. And declare your independence in a nicer, newer car for just $7 down. Have you been feeling put down, fed up, or just plain tired? Then it's time to let freedom ride. So keep your cash and drive a new 23 Outlander for just $7 down. All RC Hill Mitsubishis include a lifetime limited warranty. Even if you've heard no in the past, America is the land of opportunity. And I believe everyone deserves to drive a nicer, newer car today. So kick your old ride to the curb and let freedom ride for just $7 down. But hurry, this celebration ends soon. I'm RC Hill, your car dealer next door. Get free at rchill.com. That's rchill.com.
$7 down on cars with approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Example, stock number N12354. $7 down, $3.89 per month for 84 months, 3.9 APR.
At Fifth Third Bank, we give you free checking, never have hidden fees, and help protect your identity.
Oh, really?
Yep. See, our name equals 166.7%. So we put in that much effort.
Well, my name's Jim, so I guess I'm headed to the gym. And I'm gonna put in 166.7% effort too.
Aw, I'm proud of you.
No one's ever been proud of me.
This is banking a Fifth Third better. Fifth Third Bank, National Association member FDIC.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for summer 2023. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Right now, getting a home insured in Florida feels like... Thankfully, there's Open House, a tech-enabled home insurance provider that is saving Floridians hundreds just in time for hurricane season. Get an online quote in seconds and join your neighbors who dropped for Open House. Start saving today at openhouseinsurance.com. See openhouseinsurance.com for details. This advertisement does not constitute a binding offer or guarantee of coverage.
Hey shoppers, this is your local farmer letting you know that Florida watermelon is in season and available in the produce section right now. Whoa, hey, careful now. There's plenty of juicy watermelon and other tasty Florida-grown produce for everyone. I mean, all you have to do is ask for Fresh from Florida or look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo while you shop. We're going to need a lot more help at checkout.
So apparently Facebook is still a thing? Search gym members and join our group.
Just showed Deb the old Chuck Lorre version of Wheel of Fortune with the with the prizes up on stage, where you just basically went shopping with the money that you won right after you won it. And
I did remember it.
And it's so funny. I forgot it was themed. So he goes up there and he goes, okay, we're going to take your $3,700. By the way, the money hasn't changed from 1980 to 2023. It's still like $500, $700.
Yeah.
I mean, it did not change with inflation. They did not bump the dollars for you. But basically, he goes up there and he puts his arm around her and goes, okay, we're going to this showcase is called A Taste of the Orient. A term that's not even used anymore. And, of course, it's just ornate.
Unless you're talking about rugs.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty funny, though. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. I was just telling Deb, during my life imaging spots, you hear me talk about my life scan, my full body scan. And, last week, we found out that I have some cysts on my kidneys. I have some beginnings of diverticulitis and a slightly swollen prostate. That's what I learned, the information.
Weird flex.
Which is kind of cool that you know these things.
I guess.
But that diverticulitis thing is the one that's kind of the most mysterious of them all. They've already said, well, you do this if you have the cyst. They inject the needle in there. They pull the liquid out of the cyst. They replace it with something else that will heal it if it continues to go, right?
Like Jell-O?
I don't know what it is. Vodka, I think.
Cool.
And then the prostate, you can take care of that as well through exercise and other things like that. You can take care of that. It's the diverticulitis thing that's the scary one, because that's the internal, part of your colon. You have a thing called is it a divertic? What's it called? The little sacs. Oh man.
Let me just brush the dust off this buzzer. Yeah, it's working.
I think it's the divicular.
Ooh.
Divicule? It's a little sac.
Okay.
And what happens is...
I always love when you give us a second option, because we know one of them has to be right.
There we go.
And we're safe with the buzzer.
So those, over time, this starts happening as you get older. Over time, those will fill up with food stuff and like that. And then it gets infected and can cause some abdominal issues and you have to really pay attention to it. Got to make sure you take care of it. But I just started realizing, because if you remember what Jack say the first time when I read that on the air, what did Jack tell me?
No nuts.
No nuts or seeds, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I looked at that because somebody said, well, that's a myth. Well, it may be or may not be, but every blinking website I go to regarding diverticulitis says don't eat nuts or seeds. And it's one of my favorite snacks.
It is.
So I have a bag of pistachios in here that are already pre-shelled.
Now, someone had texted us, or quite a few people, and said that the nut thing had been debunked, but...
somebody needs to tell the internet, because the internet's still fully believing it. And I have to tell you, one of those was
the internet.
Yeah, but it was the Mayo Clinic the website, and it was updated like a month ago. So, it was actually, of the 10 items you're not supposed to eat, it was 1, 2, or 3 on every list.
Yeah.
So I can't eat nuts anymore.
Man,
I love pistachios. I love cashews. I love eating. My stomach right now, after eating just a small handful, is already upset.
Really?
I am not enjoying sitting sidecar to seeing all of your food fantasies just plummet.
Well, it's not a fantasy. I'm going to be able to do without
food desires.
Yeah.
But that's part of, that's part of one of the crap things about getting older.
Yeah, it's part of the fun of watching him deteriorate in front of our eyes.
I can't have spicy food much anymore.
Oh, my God, you love it.
I love spicy food and wings. We were just at Over Rice over in Lee Road, our buddies Joel and Myra, and I was eating that it's a fried pork belly over rice with onions and peppers.
That's right. That's where you ate one of those little peppers.
And they gave me a little red chili pepper, and I know they're hot, but I also know they're very tolerable. And I bit the whole thing. I didn't go in for a tip, and I was like, I'll nibble on this, and I'll dish this spice out little by little.
Yeah, they call you the eagle.
I went in hot dog, and I took that thing in my mouth. I chewed it. My wife looked at me, and she goes, "You are a maniac. What are you doing?" I said, "I'm fine," and then just started crying. just started sweating out of my fingernails. It only lasted about 15 minutes, but man, I paid for that a little bit later. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna back out of the spicy stuff these days too. God, that sucks.
It's like smoking a cigarette the wrong way.
I had a buddy that had that allergy to red meat.
What?
Has that allergy to red meat. It's like that tick-borne disease where if he ate red meat, he would get sick to his stomach, and it would really blank him up really bad.
Was he in good shape?
Not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, not awful shape, but I think it's a genetic thing. But he got that. Have you heard about that? The tick bite. One of the after effects of a tick bite is you can get this disease where you're like allergic to red meat.
This is my first time.
And it really causes massive stomach issues Well, he had that, and I looked at him one time. I was like, man, I don't know how much I could carry on. I mean, I know it's not good for you, but my goodness, man, I love eating red meat.
So no soda. Now
No
you're
soda.
going no nuts.
Got to cut sugar out, and nuts and seeds are gone. As much as I love eating cashews and pistachios,
And no
that's
hot
done.
stuff.
Yeah, no spicy stuff. And again, this is all in moderation, but these are things I would consume. Like you guys know, I almost always have
You're a nut buffet over there.
a bag of cashews or
a
pistachios.
A nubu, if you will.
So, and beef jerky. Now I got to give that up too.
What, sodium?
Yeah, well, just beef. You're not supposed to have it.
Yo, we're good. This show's going to change.
I'm going to need some drugs, man. There's no way I'm going to be able to stay happy. I need something that what's it? Serotonin? Is that what it is? I need something that delivers a whole bunch of that quickly.
Yeah, we need something to keep the anger in check because this is not going to end.
Yeah,
well.
yeah, right.
No.
I mean,
I'll get defeated. I'll just feel
I'm
defeated.
already in here with nut upset tummy Jimmy.
Like
nut tummy.
I'm trying to
David Bowie, we know.
I'm trying to think, like, you taking pistachios out of your life is like playing bowling without,
Oh, yeah, dude.
without the rails.
I love eating them. I love pistachios. They're so good. And this company roasts the hell out of them, so they're all super crunchy. They're like that perfect kernel of corn when you get a popcorn where it's half popped and it's just crunchy, almost cheesy. It's so good. By the way, popcorn, no good. Can't do that anymore.
Correct.
No popcorn.
Correct.
Oh, watching that show, that Natalia Gray show the other day, I told my wife, I said, time for some popcorn. She looks at me and she goes, Jimmy. And I'm like, no, don't you, not another word. You're telling me now I can't have popcorn? She goes, it's the worst of all for that. Because the husks apparently get into those little areas. And it's just like with your tooth, they turn sideways in your gum, and you can't. It takes a force of God to get it out of your mouth. Imagine that in your colon. You can't go in there and pick that with a needle.
God, man, sometimes those hygienists, when they're cleaning out your mouth, they're taking out kernels from like 98.
Oh, yeah, dude. They are.
Oh, yeah, I missed that one last time.
It's a 76 model here. All right, 407-916-1041. What'd you do that's new is next?
Real Radio. Real Radio.
104.1. Looking at your normal afternoon delays on I-4 right now in the Orlando area as you travel between Osceola Parkway and Central Florida Parkway and between the Beach Line and 535. No problems at this time for those taking the Turnpike north or southbound today. Traffic moving well east and westbound on the 408. If you run into any traffic problems today, make sure you're calling the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing wants you to gear up your truck or Jeep for your next off-road camping adventure. With millions of parts in stock, you'll find off-road and outdoor essentials so you can camp confidently and comfortably. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
Man, let's get you that new bathroom of your dreams, courtesy of our friends over at Rebath in Mid-Florida. That's rebathmidfla.com. And you know what? Let's start off with this part. Let's go to the website. Because here's the deal. Our buddy Daryl Payne from Pawfection Dog Training just got 2 bathrooms from the guys over at Rebath. Also, my friend Jen just emailed me the other day and said, hey, are they the real deal? Can I drop your name? I'm like, sure. They love it when you do that. The pride on Daryl's face when he was showing me those photographs of his new bathroom was overwhelming. He was just flipping one to the other. He couldn't, just giant smile from ear to ear. The reason why is because they really transformed his bathroom. And the thing I tell everybody, look, if you have a bathroom that's old and it really doesn't fit the style of your home, you want to update it to make your home look updated as well, that's a really good move because everybody knows when you go in there, especially if you're selling your house, you want those bathrooms to look great and you want your kitchen to look great. Bathrooms they can handle for sure and give you great products and great service as well. That's right. They do it with their employees. They do it in 4 to 6 days, and they give you a lifetime guarantee on the products and the install. And the products are easy to see. Actually, you can kind of envision your entire bathroom just standing there in the showroom. 436 up in Altamont, right across from Kobe. It's Rebath Mid-FLA. Hop on board, look at the before and afters, then book your appointment. Your new bathroom is right there in Altamont at rebathmidfla.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to realradio.fm/rules.
Look, some choices in life are complicated. Others, thankfully, are much simpler, like choosing True as One checking. There are no overdraft fees, lots of practical perks, and when your life evolves and account balances grow, we'll upgrade your perks automatically. Truest One checking. One simple choice. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Just come out, just come out. The man when you're in trouble, car accidents, slips and falls, he's the only one that you should
Orlando attorney Mo DeWitt, sung by a non-attorney spokesperson.
Hello, Floridians. Today's a good day to do great things. Yes! Like scheduling the dentist appointment you've been putting off for 2 years. Oh, man. Like finally fixing that creaky door that drives you crazy. Like getting that massage you definitely deserve. Oh, yeah. Or taking time to make sure that your air conditioner is ready to beat the heat all summer long. Do something great today, right now, by booking your $159 AC rejuvenation at CoolToday.com.
Call today, cool today, CoolToday.com.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hogue, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before. Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When money is tight, a little breathing room goes a long way.
It sure does. An Amscott installment cash advance from $100 to $1,000 could mean more money and more time to pay it back. All with no credit check. Amscott, some restrictions apply, subject to approval.
Planning a DIY fence project, but you're not sure where to start? Consider Fence in a Box from Fence Outlet. They offer fixed prices that include all materials to complete a fence for an average 120-foot backyard. PVC, aluminum, wood. Learn more at fenceoutlet.com. License number C10252.
Life is full of ifs. If you see potential in every day, if you push for that promotion, and even bigger ifs like if you say, I do. If you can cash flow like a pro and get paid up to 2 days early, if you can safeguard against surprises and supercharge your savings, the if in life becomes less iffy. Regions Life Banking makes it possible. If you're interested.
Let's talk about the if in life. Regions Bank, embrace the if in life.
Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because you matter. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Obviously, this is why YouTube was created. Obviously, at Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show, Real Radio 104.1, 407-916-1041 to call us. Easily text us at 77031. By the way, you do not have to wait for us to bring up something to talk about. If you have something on your mind, an opinion, you can certainly just call us and spit it. We do not care. We'll talk about whatever you would like. We do have stuff, but we like it when you call us stuff as well. Welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb is here.
Hello.
And Jack.
Hi.
And Ross.
It's true.
Let's do What You Do That's New.
What you do that's new. What you do that's new. Hey, if we only knew something new to do, we're relying on you. Tell us something new brought to you by Klausman Law.
That's right, Klausman Law, KLAUSMAN Law.com. Offices right there in Winter Park, 407-917-1718. Car crash, call Klausman. We'll talk to Glenn, of course, on Thursday for Colbert Court. If you're just tuning in, do not know what What'd You Do That's New is, every single Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we go around the room. One member of the show will choose something for the other members to watch, read, or listen to. We will reconvene that following Tuesday, talk about that, and then move forward. This is my choice today, and then, of course, we'll find out what Deb has to offer up for next week. My choice was easy. I listen to podcasts. I'm looking for new ones, but I listen to a few podcasts. One of them is one of the original podcasts. Actually, one of the guys who really started the trend and made it really kind of a viable product is Mark Maron, who is a stand-up comedian from the early and mid-'90s. Then he turned into an actor. He's not a caustic guy. He's kind of a grumpy guy, and he does a really good interview. He's smart. He's very well-read and obviously connected in Hollywood because he knows a lot of these people, gets a lot of really cool guests. And I thought his interview with Smokey Robinson from Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Motown, was fascinating because Smokey was part of the beginning of Motown and for a while through the 60s and 70s and actually even through the 80s with Michael Jackson and other acts like that. Motown was the game. I mean, it was it. I mean, I don't know that you could get bigger. They were producing music that was changing our culture. Seemingly every week a new song would come out, and it would change the way that Americans looked at music. And really, to be honest with you, if you listen to this interview, help bridge the racial gap in America.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about something that was absolutely vital to this country was when, white, not only white teenagers, but also white parents would come up to Smokey after shows and mention, "Hey, look, I got your record," or I found my kids, your record in my kids' collection, and it's fantastic, And they wouldn't, and the whole thing is, he said they wouldn't tell anybody else, but they would tell him, because they couldn't tell anybody else they were listening to black music. They would have been a scourge. Fascinating interview. I mean, did you guys find it as fascinating as I did?
Oh, you're talking about one of the, biggest people when it comes to music history in this country.
Him and Marvin Gaye.
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. The one thing that I'm curious, you brought it up when you suggested this. You said the one thing about Maron is that this guy can interview.
Yes.
So I went into, and I've listened to other Mark Maron episodes, but I went into this one actually really focusing on Mark Maron. We interview people. What is he doing that we're not? Or specifically, I'm not? And you're right. He knows how to interview.
He just shuts up.
And that's what you kept saying. And then there's so many times where I thought, all right, now it's time for the interviewer to jump in. And then he doesn't. And then you get a beautiful answer. Then you get another talking point. And it as fascinated as I was with Smokey Robinson's story of being, this hairpin turn for American music, I was also just on the edge of my seat listening to how Maron interviewed.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I mean, and it's not like that with everybody, because there are some people that obviously make him nervous, or he's not really prepared for as well, or maybe just doesn't know the material as well, or maybe just isn't as interested. But because they offer up a guest with a big name, he takes it because it's good for his show. This one, because he's a music guy, definitely was a point of interest for Mark Maron.
It made me envious of Mr. Robinson. It made me go like, wow, your artistry seems, I don't want to say effortless because it takes a lot of work, but it's him knowing exactly why he was put on this planet.
Also, how cool is this guy? I mean, how cool.
Oh, yeah, Smokey. Yeah, it's interesting. I already had, I listened to half of that podcast already, and I hadn't gone back. And then when you assigned it, I realized, I never finished it. And I found the second half even way better than the first half. For one, at 83, his recall, and I found myself really enjoying podcasts with these older celebrities who just have these fascinating insights into the history of their particular, entertainment business. And Smokey, throughout the whole Motown years, he was vice president of that, and how they operated it like a machine. And everyone was like, "Oh, I can't do this song. You should do that song." And it wasn't as competitive. They were all working together to kind of build up
to raise up black music,
raise up Motown, and the positive effect that it had. And it was. And he was honest about, his drugging. He was like, I smoke pot, and I didn't like doing that. You could tell he was, he didn't keep anything back. He seemed to just, whatever the topic was, he would have something to say on it. And it was just fascinating also to learn that, he grew up, a couple houses away from Aretha Franklin and Diana Ross, and they're all like growing up in the same community.
Isn't it weird? It was almost like they created a community and invited every soul-shaking musician that was going to happen for the next 50 years to live in a 10-block radius.
Yeah.
Because they talk about that the Platters were around the corner.
Yep.
Diana Ross was around the corner. It was just amazing to me.
And Aretha Franklin's dad not wanting her to sign with Motown because he wanted better distribution worldwide.
Right.
You know?
And then she winds up doing standards and losing until she really found her own voice. Deb, did you enjoy it?
I did. I thought one of the things that it made me think of is how it's rare in those moments of entertainment when someone is able to capture lightning in a bottle. And it kind of made me think of like the beginning of Saturday Night Live. And it was a What'd You Do That's New that Ross had assigned. I think it was behind the guy who had helped, one of the guys who helped found Mad Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole time when, some of the giants in comedy who were these young scrappers, just like, Berry Gordy and all of these faces of Motown, hearing that they were 17, 18, 19 years old and literally changing the face of American entertainment. And to live that close to that much talent when they were 8, 9, 10 years old, talking about wanting to become singers. To know that Stevie Wonder had the song for Tears of a Clown, but he just needed Smokey to put the words to the song and it became their first $1 million seller. It was just a fascinating walk through history and a chance to see like, wow, they caught lightning in a bottle.
They really did. I mean, I thought it was also very inspiring because I've heard some sketchy things about Berry Gordy, about how he was really not an oppressive businessman.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard.
But man, when you hear Smokey talk about him, it did not come off like that as well. And here's the other thing. Even with all those gigantic names, not one diva story.
Nope.
Not one. Not from Aretha, not from Diana Ross, not from any of those massive bands. That there were not one story about somebody diva. Everybody, like Jack said, had a singular focus, which was to make Motown the biggest thing on planet Earth so that they could all get paid and they could all get their kind of music out. I found it fascinating. I'm probably going to listen to it again this week. I thought it was that good.
Smokey Robinson has 26 studio albums.
He's about to release another one.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Mark Maron said "Tears of a Clown" is his favorite song of all time. He thinks it's a perfect song, and and to hear them talk about how those songs came down, exactly what you guys were saying, like it would be nothing for Berry Gordy to say, I wrote this song, and then Smokey go, man, you got to record that. That comes from you. That's a good song. He goes, nah, man, I can't do it like you. To think of an artist handing over a song to another artist that they know for a second, that when they hand that over, that's going to become their song. It's not going to be Berry Gordy's song anymore. Who cares about the writing credits? The people who listen to that music go, that's Smokey's tune. To have that? Are you kidding? Like, nobody does that.
And that should be applauded. That should be celebrated. And it gives you a reminder of, like, it's okay to not just be money-centric.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely have it in your top 5, but,
so cool.
When money gets involved in that situation, that's what kind of steps on that. No, this is your song.
Yeah.
Right, that creativity and that coordination.
Don't let that part of you die.
And I tell you another myth that was broken, Jack, I don't know if you picked up on this, but the idea that everybody believes that every artist at Motown, was a struggling poor artist from Detroit who lived in the slums or the ghettos and worked their way out. Aretha Franklin grew up in an astute family, in a family of
means.
I mean, they had things. I mean, he actually even said she came from a wealthy family. I would have never known that. I mean, I thought it would be like every other story out of Motown, that, they're grinding it out there, playing show after show after show, riding from town to town in buses, not being able to sleep in the hotels in those towns because they're black. Even though people just paid to see them, they wouldn't let them stay in their hotel.
But I know Aretha Franklin did pay her dues, because I remember hearing a long time ago, one of her prerequisites for any gig, she got paid in cash up front.
Oh, yeah. That's a James Brown thing, I believe.
Yeah, she didn't like trust, like waiting. She wanted her money up front.
A lot of those artists back in the day, I know that James Brown and Chuck Berry, I believe, were the same way.
Yeah.
They go, you pay me now, dog. Because here's the thing. If you get stiff for the money, a black person at that time had no recourse.
Right.
You can't call the cops on somebody. They would always side with the club owner. Oh, you can't prove it.
Yeah.
So they got paid up front before they performed. I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Strongly suggested. Get the iHeartRadio app. It's free. When you do it, download the WTF app. It's Mark Maron. And by the way, on top of this interview, hundreds of fascinating interviews from that guy all across the board. Deb, what do you have for us today?
Well, I have a mere 6-minute and 6-second video. It's no 1 hour and 24-minute podcast. But
Okay. I mean, you didn't have to listen to the whole thing.
You can skip the first 10 minutes. He rambles.
Yeah. He does.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I fast forward to the first 8 minutes. By the way, I don't listen to him.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, you didn't hear that beginning part?
I don't want to hear him bitch. He bitches a lot, and I don't want to hear it.
This wasn't about that. You didn't hear the beginning
Nah,
of
I
it,
didn't listen to
honestly?
it.
Where
No.
he's talking about being in a movie about a murder talk show host?
Oh, yeah, I did hear that. Yeah. Alan Berg.
Yeah, it was the same. Yeah,
Yeah, that was disconcerting.
He's playing Alan Berg.
He's playing Alan Berg.
Yeah, that was disconcerting.
Yeah, I saw the movie.
Great start. Super.
It's all great.
So, no, mine is because, of course, we talked today in Woke News about our governor saying that he would, the bases, military bases, 9 of them now have had their names changed. So this is a short 6-minute piece from CBS Sunday Morning where they talk to military brass about the reasons behind it, the names that were chosen for the new bases, and then the community members' feelings about it, like Fort Pickett up in Virginia.
Right, yeah.
And how they feel. And I thought it was just an interesting conversation starter from the military members themselves to say why these bases were changed. And the other thing that I learned was why they were named after these people in the first place really makes you go, what?
And what it makes you do, when you learn these things, it makes you, and when people just scream and holler because they hear something in the news and it
makes them mad.
It supposedly goes against everything they stand for. Then they start reading a little bit and go, oh, maybe there's another story there.
And maybe it's a good thing that we change it because this wasn't the person it should have been named after in the first place.
So we'll have that up at the What You Do That's New master list, so you can click right through to the YouTube video?
It is. You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, very cool. Then we'll check that out. And, of course, we'll have Jack's Choice next week. All right, 407-916-1041. Back in a sec with more of The Jim Colbert Show.
What you do that's new, brought to you by Glenn Klossman, KLAESNANLAW.com.
Proudly sponsored since day one by Glenn Klossman, KlossmanLaw.com.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Lowest prices on the highest quality jewelry. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Looking at your normal afternoon delays on I-4 right now in the Orlando area as you travel between Osceola Parkway and Central Florida Parkway and between the Beach Line and 535. No problems at this time for those taking the Turnpike north or southbound today. Traffic moving well east and westbound on the 408. If you run into any traffic problems today, make sure you're calling the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Jeff Martin Auctioneers. Jeff Martin Auctioneers presents the Kissimmee Construction and Transportation Live Auction on June 22nd, featuring heavy construction equipment, trucks, trailers, and more. Bid your way live on site or online at jeffmartinauctioneers.com. Experience the difference. License AU 4483.
This earful of Real Radio is sponsored by Marco's Pizza.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale Friday, June 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. But starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders can score tickets and other awesome experiences before anyone else for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last.
Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details.
What's in your wallet?
Here's how to avoid a top mistake in divorce. Text messages and social media posts can wind up in front of a judge. Act accordingly. Don't post like a fool. Divorce? Trenley Kramer Law. TK Law. OneFirmForLife.com.
Hello, Floridians. Today is a good day to do great things. Yes! Like finally getting your closet organized. Or fixing your water heater so you can enjoy warm, steamy showers. Oh, yeah! Do something great today by calling Plumbing Today to take care of all your plumbing needs. Right now, get our 93 or free drain clearing and get the best from today.
Call today, Plumbing Today, plumbingtoday.biz.
Visit plumbingtoday.biz to book an appointment.
Second half of the year looking busier than the first? Hire with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The Dunkin' Run is here, and so are the deals. Add a $3 sausage, egg, and cheese to a medium or larger coffee. Time for a Dunkin' Run. America runs on Dunkin'. Offer valid with the purchase of a medium or larger coffee. Price and participation may vary.
Hey,
shoppers, this is your local farmer letting you know that Florida watermelon is in season and available in the produce section right now. Whoa! Hey, careful now. There's plenty of juicy watermelon and other tasty Florida-grown produce for everyone. I mean, all you have to do is ask for Fresh from Florida or look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo while you shop. We're going to need a lot more help at checkout.
Did you miss the open enrollment for health insurance? Did you enroll into a high-deductible limited network marketplace plan? It's not too late. You can still change your plan at any time. The folks at USABG's Freedom of Choice plan are available now. This plan puts most of your coverage up front, where you only meet a deductible if you go into a hospital. You pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower than Obamacare. With USABG's Freedom of Choice plan, the monthly premiums are not tied to your income, so there are no surprises at tax time. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employment coverage is just too expensive. Call USABG today at 321-380-4540. That's 321-380-4540. Or go to usabgflorida.com. That's usabgflorida.com. USABG's Freedom of Choice plan. They can customize a plan managed by you, not the government.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For the month of June, Zero Res has some special great discounts on furniture cleaning, like 25% off sectionals, 25% off sofas, 25% off love seats, and 25% off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, spelled forwards and backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Storm season is here, and Duke Energy is ready. With innovative technology and new ways to reroute power to help prevent outages in all kinds of weather. We're strengthening our systems, ready to restore power quickly and safely, while keeping you informed about outages with text and email alerts. It's all part of building a smarter energy future for you. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
Order your Hummer EV at orangebuickgmc.com. We are professional grade.
Radio 104.1.
If you don't know what web goals are, consider yourself lucky. If you feel like helping out, go to JimColbertLive.com and look at stuff.
Hey guys, Deb just reminded me, we're doing still doing tacos for talkbacks, right?
That is right. We are. It goes on for 2 more weeks. You send us a talk back, and you are in the running. And every Friday, we are giving away Tijuana Flats cash.
Oh, yeah, player.
Drawing names, and we had 6 lucky winners last Friday. We'll do it again this Friday. So all you have to do is use the iHeartRadio app, send Real Radio a talkback. You hit the microphone, send us a message. And whether we play it or not, whatever you're talking about, you are automatically entered. So good luck to you. Tijuana Flats, man, check it out. I did their 2 for $20 lunch last Friday.
Damn.
They got a bunch of great deals.
So
you want
good.
more information, go to realradio.fm/taco.
Oh, yeah, player. Look, 2 beef, hard all the way, extra jalapenos, beans and rice, chips and queso, sweet tea, bring it.
It is Taco Tuesday.
Oh, yeah,
Not
it
a bad idea to stop by tonight.
All right, 407-916-1041. You can text us at 77031.
There's a copyright on that, right?
No. By the way, I'm Jim, Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. So I was telling you guys about a cool service that I saw, and this is really unique. Now, it may not be unique if you're like 25.
Eye massage.
Or 30. It's not an eye massage. I'll tell you, Ross, I'll give you a couple of shots at this. It's a personal thing. And matter of fact...
Someone to cuddle with.
No. As a matter of fact, you guys, we all as a show here, have talked about this as part of What'd You Do That's New. It was assigned. A similar thing was assigned.
Oh, meditation.
No.
Journaling.
Warm.
Myrrh?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just go with journaling, right? Okay, so here's the deal. Because I could be here all day doing this, and I'm tired of it already. All right, here we go.
Did eye massage turn you off?
No, it did not. But
it's a terrible business
it's
idea.
super creepy.
Yeah, it's not getting off the ground.
Gonna need real soft hands.
Yeah.
It's called Storyworth. Have you heard of a service called Storyworth?
No, but I'm immediately intrigued.
I believe I have.
Here's what Storyworth does, and I just saw this today. I actually don't even know how long this company's been around. I really haven't done that much. It says here 10 years. There you go, right there.
Bang.
Yeah. Well, it's just it was in a context of a review that I did not see. So it's been around for about 10 years. I've never heard of it. You guys haven't either.
No.
I saw the ad on Facebook, and here's what they do. When you sign up for it, once a week, this is for elderly people in your family. I would say elderly. I would even include myself. People in your family who are getting to be 50-something years old. Jack is smiling. I don't know why. Do you know what it is now?
No, you admitted you're elderly.
Yeah, I'm a little elderly. I do qualify for AARP stuff. I do not take it just out of
pride.
Just out of pride.
Oh, dog, I'm a member.
You should ask why I'm smiling. I'll answer it. It's because Facebook was like, oh, he needs this ad.
Yeah, the algorithm got me.
The algorithm was like, ooh, yeah, let's target it towards that guy.
Okay, so here's what it is. All right, and you would love this. Matter of fact, you fall into this as well. Even though Jack and I are on the other side of this, you're on a side as well. Storyworth does this. Once a week, the person who subscribes, that would be, let's say, my kids. They would sign up to Storyworth, and they would send me one question a week. Mm-hmm. And I would take that question, and I would write about that and how it applies to my life. Right? Let's say...
I wanted to do this with my mom, but as soon as I saw that she'd have to... I was like, yeah, she's not going to do that.
Let's say that my kids don't know much about my life when I was very young. Like, who I dated, who I was with, first love, or anything like that. And the question could be, simply put, who was your first love? My goal or my job as the person that receives that is to write out a story about that, about how I came to find my first girlfriend or fall in love for the first time and what that was like and who she was and what she stood for and what I was going through at that time, right? You write a couple pages, you send it in. Well, you do that every week. And the whole idea is that when you pass, you've now left a legacy story of your life for your future generations to be able to read and enjoy. And man, can I tell you, I would love to have this. My dad and I didn't get along and for many, many years. So there was not as strange per se, but I don't really know a lot about him as a kid. I know a few stories that he's told me, but he wasn't really into kind of sharing things of that nature. And because of our relationship, it was difficult for me to get to know because it just was. A lot of time had come in between that. It just kind of happened. But that would be from my grandfather, whom I know probably a little bit more about than my dad's dad. The interesting guy, the junker I tell you guys about all the time, where I got that gene from. It would be awesome to have just a volume of things that he was asked by maybe the grandkids, even including myself, where he would have written out a story. Well, this is how I became a self-taught engineer in Fort Lauderdale. This is how I got into, kind of junking or collecting stuff like that. This is why, me and my wife and I got divorced or whatever the case may be, or this is why we celebrated this. I found it to be fascinating. Imagine this for your mother.
Yeah.
Like your mom, like you send her a question and you have to understand the things that she would tell you as opposed to write in this journal for you to have at the end of her life or toward the end of her life would be way different. Like we learned that with my mom.
Yeah. Do we get the responses real time or it's only after they pass?
I would think I think you could probably do it however you wanted, but for me,
I would hit harder.
Well, as far as I'm aware of, they send us a certain amount of questions and then they bind it as a book.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah. But then you have the story. When you get it, I'm not sure.
Yeah. What he's asking is like, if I send a question like who was your first love, and you answer that and you write it out, do I get to read that right now, or do I have to wait until the entire book is bound?
I would imagine it would be.
See, I'd want to wait.
It could be awkward,
Yeah, I'd want to wait. I'm with Jack. I don't want to know that stuff now.
It's funny.
I want to read it after the fact.
Our YouTube chat weighed in. So, homework for old people.
Well, it is kind of homework for them. But I would think, as you're getting a little bit older, those are things you want to share. I mean, you would want to tell people about your past. I mean, we always talk about that where, the elderly that are in homes don't get visited as much by their kids. You have to see them once a month. That's a big plus. But to be able to write out your life story, question by question, week by week, so that it's bound up and given to the loved ones after the fact, then they can go and read and they can have all of those epiphanies about those relationships. Oh my God, I didn't know Grandpa was a professional boxer or was in jail or whatever. That'd be cool.
What question would you want? Now, I keep thinking I want to ask you about your Easy Bake Oven.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you had an Easy Bake Oven.
No. Whoa.
It was yours. You really wanted it.
It was his sister's.
You wanted it in pretty pink.
Whoa.
You wanted to make cute little brownies.
It only came in 2 colors.
But that was like your thing.
It was my sister's oven. It was not mine.
It's even worse.
No, it's not worse.
You stole it.
I didn't steal it. She just didn't know how to use it, and she wanted cake.
You see what I'm saying? How did she not know how to use it? It's a big red light that you put like.
No, it's not even red.
It's
just
not red.
It's just a 100-watt light bulb.
It's just a light bulb.
It's not even
Really,
red.
it's just a 100-watt light bulb. It's not even. It's just like you could just replace it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It wasn't like it was a big element or anything.
Like that was like you were a closeted Easy Bake guy out
Yeah.
in Palatka.
Oh, I wasn't a closeted Easy Bake guy. I was just a kid who was stuck in a trailer with nothing to do, and I just learned how to make the food.
Yeah, but you were like you didn't want
Let's
to
slow
be
down.
caught with it.
That's why he started working on cars, you guys, because he knew that his uncles needed to see him doing something manly to balance out the fact that he could bake a really mean cake.
Yeah, not bad for a light bulb, dog.
So you fixed cars and did the Easy Bake Oven so it would be a wash so your grandparents thought you were like, bye.
I was working on my motorcycle at the time,
right?
As a 9 or 10-year-old, I did that for sure, and I used the Easy Bake Oven. Good at both, by the way.
Yeah, really hitting them with the bookends out there.
No, that's not what it was at all. And but it would be funny. Like my kids didn't know. My kids right now don't know much about my childhood.
Do we know more about you than your kids? Does Central Florida know more about you than your kids?
Do your kids know that you used to tear down mailboxes?
They do not know that.
Do your kids know about the quarters for the arcade?
Yeah, stealing them from your mom's purse.
My grandmother's. They do not know that.
Do they know about all your drug use?
I buy it from them. So yeah.
No way.
No.
It's just like sometimes when I meet some of our listeners and then they'll bring up this one moment and I'm like, dude, I should not have shared that.
Yeah, that doesn't that happens way too much. But like when I was really young, the same time when I was the Easy Bake Oven, and our swimming pool was a horse trough. Right, you'd go out and buy this, a trough that held like 250 gallons of water. It's like 2.5 feet tall. Everybody out there in Geneva and Oviedo who have, horses and cows are laughing.
And
they
kids.
They know exactly what I'm talking about.
That was Eva Longoria's first pool.
Right, that's what we swam in. That was our pool.
Yeah.
Look at you. And Eva Longoria having something in common.
We would create our own games. Like we couldn't afford to go bowling, so we would find pieces of old 2x4 and set them up, and then use an old basketball to bowl in the driveway of my grandmother's house.
I'll tell you what, a red
all
barn
that
and a
stuff.
chicken coop, you can figure out some ways to... Oh, no, it was the corn crib. It wasn't the chicken coop. It was the corn crib.
My kids don't know that I used to squish barefooted through a chicken pen as a young boy to get eggs for breakfast in the morning. Like they didn't know that. They don't know any of that. Like that we used to hang our clothes up to dry. That I knew how to drive a stick shift at 11 years old. Very well, by the way. I mean, it was a straight boss at 11 years old. I could barely reach the clutch, but I could drive a stick shift at a young age.
Doc, what are you squishing?
What do you mean?
Poop.
It's
chicken
just
poop.
It's just chicken poop, dude. They poop all over the place, and as you're walking back where they roost, you are literally squishing through 2 inches of pure chicken poop to get them eggs.
Does that memory come in black and white? Because that is. Listen, I get age difference, but that is single-handedly the oldest thing I've ever heard you say, or at least most Palatka thing.
Yeah.
So you're walking out bare feet, chicken turds, got to get the eggs.
So in the back of my grandmother's house, by the way, which was in the city, no big deal. I have probably about 30 chickens. The pen was pretty big, about the size of your room, and they had an area where they would roost. So I'd have to stoop down and go into the little area where they would go in. It wasn't like a doorway that a human could fit through. I'd just squat down and get through there, and then go into this area where there's 30 chickens and a bunch of nests. And I would grab the eggs in the morning, and we'd come in. That's what we used to eat. So and I'd go in there barefoot. You don't want to ruin your shoes.
Yeah,
Because I could go in there and just wash my feet off with a hose. Nobody really considered it that big of a deal.
What about washing off your shoes?
Yeah, no.
That's why you didn't wear shoes.
Yeah, man, you couldn't
It's
ruin
easier-
your shoes. There was
Easier
no-
to wash your feet.
By the way, there's no 2 pair of shoes. You had 1 pair of shoes that lasted all year, or that was it. If you messed them up, you had to wait for hand-me-downs. There was no, you didn't ruin them. Matter of fact, when I would get home from school, I would take my shoes off, and I would just be barefoot all the time because I couldn't, if I messed my shoes up, I would get beaten.
All right, I have a question.
Okay.
What was your first pair of shoes that you remember?
The first cool pair?
The first pair.
Oh, wow. A pair of, oh, man, Buster Browns.
Yeah, there you go.
My mom took me to the Buster Brown store, and I had to put my feet in that slidey metal thing.
Yep.
And they would crunch it down there, and I got Buster Brown shoes because that's what you had to have to go to church. Look, I would not get any clothes to do recreational stuff, but my grandmother made absolute sure I had church clothes. That was the case. Church clothes you had. Any other clothes, doesn't care. You could be out there dressed like Tarzan, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
But
as long as you look good for the Lord.
You had dress clothes for the church. That was a big thing.
What were your were you suspenders?
Slacks and just a shirt, man. It was everybody wore the same thing every time they went to church. It was the same thing. Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Someone needs a piece of straw between his teeth.
I got my first pair of Nikes when I was 16, and I had to ask for them for Christmas. And they wore those things until they literally fell apart. Those canvas ones with the blue stripes. It was a big deal.
Did you have a rope belt?
I did not have a rope belt. We had belts.
I like this.
I'm starting to think of any of the other stuff you guys would find so alien.
Well, it's just.
Well, not really.
How about this? I'll give you this. This is something alien to a lot of people. My first backyard happened when I was 27.
Oh, wow.
My
'Cause
first
just apartments.
front yard
Yeah.
happened when I was 27.
I didn't live in a house until I moved here. I lived in mobile homes my entire life. My grandmother had a home, but it was, can I tell you, I would rather live in the trailer because the trailer had AC. My grandmother's home was basically a shotgun house made out of wood, and it had no AC because there was no insulation. It was the wood, and then outside there was no like drywall or anything like that. It was just wood and then outside.
Watched my brother bathe in a 55-gallon drum that my grandmother tried to get me to bathe in, but I'm like, I am not bathing open air in front of all God and country.
Back to Ross. Would you consider it your front yard and your backyard if you're only a renter?
Not a renter.
No.
Not a renter. Married, baby.
No. What he's saying
What's hers is mine.
That's the way he's getting back to P.A. McGee. That's how he does it.
By law, tread lane.
Yeah. Don't yell it. He'll come. He'll show up. Divorce papers in hand. What's the most backwoods thing you did as a kid?
Man.
You grew up in Naples. There's nothing backwoods down there.
I grew up in Naples, and whenever I tell people that, it's like, oh, from money. I was like, single mom, ton of debt. I bathed with my brother. I think that is the answer to that question.
That's beyond money.
That's odd.
Yeah.
And whenever I remember, I would walk up to all my friends with like their brothers and be like, "You guys remember when you guys bathed together?" And they'd be like, "Dude, you should not talk about that."
Out loud ever.
Yeah, and I thought that was just a common thing, and it is for a lot of brothers. But that's usually like a 1-year age gap. I've got a 6-year age gap with my brother.
It's odd.
So,
Your brother
like-
had pubic hair when this was happening.
So he's like going through stage 1 of puberty, and I'm thinking Power Rangers are cool. So it was a weird dynamic.
Oh man!
In this bathtub. So I would say that.
I remember going to the feed store.
The feed store.
Yeah, you'd go to the feed store to get feed for the chickens, like big bags of feed for the chickens.
Up north, it's called Fleet Farm.
We would go to Hastings, Florida, and we would. I used to tell the story on PTK all the time, but we would go when they would
make the seed,
harvest the potatoes.
Oh yeah.
That tiller sometimes would put marks in the potatoes, so those couldn't go to the stores because they were ruined. So they would put them in a big pile just to rot at an edge of one of the fields, and we saw that from the road. And my uncle or my grandmother negotiated that we could go in there and just get a truck full of those potatoes. And that's what we would do. We would go get potatoes, and then we would just sit under my grandmother's little carport area, and we would boil them off in what looked to be a witch cauldron, and then cut them up and bag them up for the winter. We didn't like go to the grocery store. It was very rarely we went to the grocery store. We had fresh vegetables all the time because we would get them while they were in season, and they would cook them and bag them so that we would have them throughout the winter. That's fruit as well. Made our own pickles, made our own butter, all that stuff. I remember all that. Made all that stuff.
Did you ever become like friends with the chickens?
No, I didn't even know them. You got to remember, people Hulu on farms. When you see the Facebook videos of them, loving stuff like no, man, that's for food. Yeah, that's for food. That's food only. I mean, we would regularly send a cousin out there to wring a chicken's neck so we'd eat that night. Like, I would have taken that chicken's egg that morning and eaten that chicken that night.
Just dominated that one chicken.
I don't know about dominating the chicken. It was just staying alive, man.
It sounds like you didn't become friends with the chickens, but it sounds like you had a couple of enemies.
Yeah.
Some chickens that were on the rock bottom of the Colbert like list.
No. They're fine. All the chickens are, they're not fine.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Yeah, they tasted great.
Long gone.
They're like that one retirement home I worked in high school.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
All right, 407-916-1041. Back in a sec with more of the Jim Colbert Show.
Real radio is Real Music Weekends. Real Music Weekends. This weekend on Real Radio 104.1. Brought to you by attorney Mo DeWitt. Injured on the go? Just call Mo.com.
This weather report is brought to you by Mills Air.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Ian Cassette with your Central Florida forecast. Quiet through the rest of this evening. It's going to be a mild night with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will only fall to 76 degrees, and that will kick off a warm Wednesday with hot weather expected into the afternoon, a high of 95 degrees and a feels-like temperature that will be in the low hundreds, so make sure you're staying cool and hydrated throughout the day. We'll see an isolated chance of rain in the afternoon. This weather continues again on Thursday and through the rest of the week. For the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Ian Cassette.
This report is sponsored by Fresh from Florida.
I'm back, and look at all the Fresh from Florida produce I brought home.
Fresh from Florida produce is fresh as fresh can get.
It's refreshing to know that locally grown Fresh from Florida produce is available year-round.
Well, that's a breath of fresh air.
Look for Fresh from Florida where you shop.
From the Florida Department of Agriculture.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hogue, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before. Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Rent is due and money is tight. You could A, pay a huge late fee, or B, get an Amscot cash advance and avoid it. Amscot, up to $500 fast, no credit check. Some restrictions apply, subject to approval.
Home title theft. It's on the rise and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert. And that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
I had a radio listener call me after an accident. The insurance company offered him $700. He hired me that day and we recovered $100,000. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Potential clients may not obtain same or similar results. Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
Baby boomers and retirees, stop losing your retirement. The IRS will take substantial dollars from your retirement savings unless you take control of your retirement dollars. You can gain retirement tax protection from national talk show wealth strategist and best-selling author Chuck Oliver of The Hidden Wealth Solution. He'll give you a head start to be retirement tax and recession smart. Learn solutions with a track record of measurable results to save thousands in unnecessary taxes and gain retirement recession protection. Visit retirementprotected.com.
IDC's giving you a reprieve from sky-high interest rates with an unbelievable offer right now. 0% interest financing on practically everything. All rings, all earrings, all bands, all bracelets, all designer jewelry, even GIA certified diamonds. Buy now and get fast, easy 0% financing for 5 years. That $9,000 engagement ring comes to just $150 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Say no to high prices and high rates. Get the guaranteed best price and enjoy 0 interest financing. Only at International Diamond Center.
This 0% finance offer at IDC is insane. People are driving for hours to do this. It's 5 years, 0 interest financing. Whether you spend $3,000 or $30,000, you can spread your payments over 5 years with 0 in interest. And this includes every diamond at IDC. All shapes, from 1 carat to 20 carats, GIA certified diamonds. Get the extreme value price IDC is known for a limited time. Enjoy 5 years, 0 interest financing. Now through July 2nd at International Diamond Center.
4 Orlando locations on approved credit.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTRCM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Orlando area attorneys. Office in Orlando. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Your spark is all you need. And let's be real, you don't have time for smoke and mirrors anyway. So ditch all the pretentiousness and the lighter it rode in on with Blue. Blue e-cigs are available in a variety of satisfying flavors and nicotine strengths. Even better, it's odorless. When you're living unlit, you're comfortable being your true you. And no one will mistake ashtray for your signature scent. Blue. Get unlit. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Underage sale prohibited. Blue is a trademark of Font Holdings 4BV. Copyright 2022. Fontum US LLC.
Rise and shine, honey. We don't want to miss our flight.
Our flight is in 7 hours. And we have TSA pre-check with our Navy Federal flagship credit card.
TSA pre-check. Getting my bugle through security will be so much easier now.
Learn how you can earn up to 3 times points on travel with the flagship credit card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Car crash? Call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
There's only one place to watch this nonsense. At Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
All right, welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show, Real Radio 104.1, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. Just got a couple texts from our friend Kay Rollins, Orlando City Soccer. She is the president of the Orlando City Foundations.
Correct. And I think we call it like the queen of soccer in Orlando.
She is, yeah. She says she's currently doing that thing I was just talking about. It's not called, she's not doing the storybook version. She's doing a thing called My Life Story Pro, which her kids got for her. Mm-hmm. And she does the same thing. They send her a series of questions. She writes stories, and then, she'll share that later. And I did get a text earlier or during the break that says, why would you want a middleman in that? Why not just call the person and talk to them? Well, I mean, my kids didn't call my mom to talk to them about life all the time. And I know that may be a disconnect, and I completely understand that. What this does is allow those generational gaps where, grandma might not know how to talk to kids and vice versa. It allows those people to put their story in their words so that later down the road, when the kids are able to kind of understand all situations, they can read it. You're telling an 11-year-old about a story, they're not going to remember. They wouldn't understand the impact of something if it was like a cultural change in the world. But you writing it down in your own words and all those things that happen, different than your journaling thing, would be kind of cool.
My mother did. It was a book. I believe it was Thomas Kincaid, the artist.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The painter of light.
Yeah. Who died in his 50s, and they called it natural causes, which I'm like, no, you can't do that. That's not natural.
Nothing natural about that.
Anyway, it was like a journal, and it was, I had the artwork of Thomas Kincaid in it, but where she would kind of tell her story for her grandkids. So it was a journal that you bought for your grandkids that you would fill out, so they'd have that information. So those are on my shelf. But as my mom was getting up there into her 90s, I randomly would just throw on my phone and just start recording, and then I'd do some interviews with her. Like I'd ask her,
that's cool.
What's the first birthday you can remember? And then kind of ask her about my siblings and our birthdays and whatnot. And like I saved it. I have about a dozen of them of all different events.
That's really cool.
I saved. I haven't done anything with them yet, but I'm waiting.
The reason I like this is this, like, that's that old adage is obviously, two minds are greater than one. I would want help asking the question. It's almost like the AI prompt thing, right? You want somebody to ask great questions. I would be so close to the scenario that I would probably forget or not ask the question that would be interesting, as opposed to someone who did a psychological study or kind of figured out through just understanding how people age and how they remember things to ask those correct questions to get the really good responses that give the most information.
Or the most honest response,
Yeah.
because it may be more difficult for a family member to say you and your father to actually sit down and just have a conversation without the emotions and the memories getting in the way, rather.
Yeah.
Whereas you have an interviewer or some third-party person who comes in who can really kind of pull that story and those details out in a way that maybe we as children wouldn't be able to do.
And to be able to ask my mom what was the difference between raising me and my sister. To have that question answered would be fascinating to me.
I'm sure you'd want it.
Yeah, no, I'd want it for sure.
Well, and the other thing is when you write it, it's a different part of your brain, and and that's the thing with journaling as well. Yeah, you can tell someone something, but when you go to write it, I think you put more thought into the structure of it and maybe more thought into the actual experience as you take that time to think about how you want to describe something. And I think maybe you get a richer response to the prompt. And also what this does, it gives the structure.
Right.
Yeah, instead of, trying like I was just trying to think, what was it like during, World War II when everyone was at war, but they have specific things that can hopefully trigger memories.
Code Black's father-in-law turned 100 years old this weekend.
Amazing.
100 years old. That means he was born right at the end of World War II. Or World War One, went through World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam War, all the advent of airlines and cars, space flight, and
computers.
telephones and computers. I mean, he has knowledge of all that. He watched all that happen. Man, could you imagine having a journal from this guy talking about all of those things and how it applied to his life, what he was thinking at the time? Somebody just texted us and said, "Found out last night my mom has bone cancer. Been wanting to do the Storyworth thing, but definitely doing it now. Worth the $89 is all it is." For you, like Ross, I even applied this to other people. The minute I heard about this service, I was like, oh, wow, where would this apply to people I know? And with you, just a little bit I know, I would find it interesting to hear about your mother's relationship with her sisters when they were young.
Yeah.
Because I've seen what it looks like when they're adults, and it's odd.
Yeah.
Just being truthfully. Being truthful, it's odd.
It is a trident of three different pokey things.
Completely different human beings. I mean, listening to your aunts talk, about your mom and stuff when we were at the wedding, wasn't disrespectful so much, but it was definitely different, and I did not expect it.
Yeah.
But to hear her story of what it was like growing up with the other two sisters would be interesting to me. Just knowing your mom a little bit and knowing her for the last 5 years working with you, I would find that fascinating.
There's definitely that's one aspect of my mom's life that I would love to learn. I kind of have a general gist, but it's still worth a phone call to get a little bit more details. There's a lot of things like I didn't really soak this fact in, but I've known it my entire life. My mom was married before my dad.
Isn't that crazy?
And I don't know his name. I just know he was in the military.
Like, that's bananas.
And that's why my mom. This is my theory.
Like, that's bananas. The fact that you don't know your mom's first husband is crazy to me.
So I think this is what happened.
That's got to be really rare. That's got to be one of the rarest things in the world, man.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think
You don't
so.
think so?
Mm-mm.
Really? My dad was married twice before. I don't know their names.
Damn.
And I only knew about the other 2 daughters he had, like, way later in life.
Yeah, about 18 months ago.
yeah. But there's one aspect. This is why I think, right now, why I think my mom's first marriage didn't go well. It's because he was in the military, and he was based in Hawaii. And my mom was like, hell yeah, I'll go to Hawaii with you, and I'll just chill out. And then she started getting bored. What does Hawaii have, Jim?
Tons of great golf.
Great golf. My mom gets obsessed with golf. Like, obsessed. 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. Gets this dream. I'm going to qualify for the Women's U.S. Open. This guy goes, hey, I kind of want to hang out with you. She goes, no, I got to go low. Divorce happens.
Make your own butter noodles.
She qualifies for the U.S. Opens like 4 years after that.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of unbelievable. Yeah, but I mean, those are great stories. I mean, and you have to understand. So you're talking about it with you, right? That's what but you're going to have kids.
Yeah.
And there's a possibility that your kids may not really know Kathy Paget and may not know her sisters all that well. These stories would allow her to come to life for them in her own words. I just think it's fascinating. I know it doesn't seem, it's not super exciting to talk about. Kay was just texting me again saying, she finds herself asking her brothers and sisters questions now about what they remembered and what their, recollection of certain situations were.
How about this? I've thought about this. All of us, right? We're all going to die one day, all 4 of us.
Whoa.
When they
Spoiler
go back
alert.
and they check out the iHeartRadio app, then they go through all these podcasts, like if we have, our grandchildren after we're gone, they can, listen, to our listeners, if you've listened to every second of the Jim Colbert Show, you know us. We shared too much.
Yeah, we share way too much.
And it's out there.
All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 7703. We'll come back and talk a little bit about what's happening down in Miami. President Trump, or former President Trump, is currently on his airplane and headed back to New Jersey. I think he'll have some comments not long after he lands. Really no news coming out about what happened in the courtroom. He was only in there about an hour. We think also his personal assistant, what's the guy's name? Newt?
Well, Nada.
Nada, there it is. He was also in the courtroom as well, and we heard that Jack Smith was in the courtroom today as well. Of course, that's a prosecuting attorney for the Justice Department who's heading all this up. We'll talk a little bit about that when we get back.
3 general managers, 5 midday shows, and 1 corporate bankruptcy. Restructuring. Celebrating 30 years of Real Radio 104.1. Thanks for keeping the dream alive over 3 decades.
Normal afternoon delays still happening on I-4 as you travel throughout the Orlando area. Things are especially slow between Osceola Parkway and Central Florida Parkway and between the Beach Line and 535. Looking at your normal delays starting to build up north and southbound on the Turnpike as well. If you see traffic problems, make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Heron Home and Outdoor.
Spending more time outside? Don't let mosquitoes ruin the fun. At Heron Home and Outdoor, we specialize in mosquito control and prevention to protect your yard. Visit myheronhome.com today for a free quote. Heron Home and Outdoor, your local pest and lawn experts.
Tacos for Talkbacks is back on Real Radio. We've teamed up with Tijuana Flats again to promote their 2 for $20 weekends where you can win $40 in Tijuana Flats cash this Friday. All you have to do is use the Real Radio Talkback feature on our free iHeartRadio app. It doesn't matter what you say, all talkbacks will be entered for the $40 in Tijuana Flats cash. We'll draw multiple winners each Friday, so you can check out the 2 for $20 weekends every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Tijuana Flats for a limited time where you can get 2 entrees, 2 drinks, and an appetizer for just $20 every weekend at Tijuana Flats for a limited time only. Use the Real Radio Talkback on the iHeartRadio app now for your chance to win $40 in Flats cash to try the 2 for $20 weekends only at Tijuana Flats. Get more info at realradio.fm/taco.
Welcome back. Dave and Herb here, and we're talking fresh.
Fresh from Florida, that is. Dave, tell our listeners about the produce that's in season.
There's tomatoes, broccoli, watermelon, freppers, spinach.
Wait, hold it. You're just putting fra in front of produce.
Yeah, as in fresh from Florida.
Produce tastes better when it's grown closer to home. You don't need to make up words.
Really?
Ugh, friends, visit followfreshfromflorida.com to see what's in season.
Don't you mean .from?
Ugh, really?
At Fifth Third Bank, we give you free checking, never have hidden fees, and help protect your identity.
Oh, really?
Yep. See, our name equals 166.7%. So we put in that much effort.
Well, my name's Jim, so I guess I'm headed to the gym. And I'm gonna put in 166.7% effort too.
Aw, I'm proud of you.
No one's ever been proud of me.
This is banking a Fifth Third better. Fifth Third Bank, National Association member FDIC.
GiveMeTheVin.com now has 40 offices around the U.S. 40. We did $2 billion in buys last year, $2 billion with a B, because we pay the most, we're easy to deal with, and we take care of you, the customer. That's why we have 4 stars, the highest rankings of any car buyer. GiveMeTheVin.com dominates. Why? Because we take care of our customers. They don't call me America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Slowed down, held back, inhibited. What you get out depends on what you put in. Rejuvenate your engine's performance with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, because true performance knows no bounds. New and improved Shell V-Power Nitro Plus removes up to 100% of performance-robbing deposits to rejuvenate your engine's performance. Continuous use in gasoline direct injection engine fuel injectors.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Midsummer Days. We're celebrating with fun in-store events for IKEA family members and lots of savings.
Oh, hi. I'm looking for extra chairs to host my pickleball team dinner.
We can help you save on that and more.
Great. And that flower crown looks amazing.
Come make your own in-store on June 23rd through 25th. Plus, buy tickets to the June 23rd Swedish Midsummer Buffet at your local store. Go to IKEA-USA.com/midsummer for more details. Offer valid 5/30 to 7/4. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store on IKEA-USA.com for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance company, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Focus on getting better and let us take care of everything else. Our experienced team will get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
In Office Orlando.
Doesn't that sound refreshing? Why not take it up a notch and make it a Dunkin' Refresher? If you're a Dunkin' Rewards member, you can get a $3 medium Dunkin' Refresher every day all month long. That's a lot of refreshment, and it's pretty refreshing. Not a member? Join on the Dunkin' app. Dunkin' Rewards. Save them, stack them, use them how you want. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 per member per day. Additional charges and terms may apply. Exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
If it's a day that ends in Y, you're probably stuck in Florida traffic. So turn that AC up 1 more notch, aim the vents toward your face, and think of a better place, like the cool, colorful produce section in your favorite grocery store. Why? Because that's where all the cool, colorful, fresh from Florida produce is. Produce just tastes better when it's grown closer to home. And when you buy fresh from Florida, you're supporting local farmers and jobs in our communities. So after you're done being stopped in traffic, pick up some fresh from Florida on your way home.
Join Jim Colbert on The Jim Colbert Show for his Cigar of the Week segment every Friday afternoon at 3:45. You can pick up these featured cigars at all 3 Corona Cigar Company locations, Dr. Phillips, Heathrow, and downtown. Learn more at coronacigar.com.
Hello, Floridians. Today's a good day to do great things. Yes! Like scheduling the dentist appointment you've been putting off for 2 years.
Oh, man.
Like finally fixing that creaky door that drives you crazy. Like getting that massage you definitely deserve.
Oh, yeah.
Or taking time to make sure that your air conditioner is ready to beat the heat all summer long. Do something great today, right now, by booking your $159 AC rejuvenation at CoolToday.com.
Call today, cool today. CoolToday.com.
If you've been injured in a car accident, call Pound Law from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because you deserve better. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Now, your chance at a trip to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword Vegas to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200.
Are you offended yet? Obviously, we're only kidding. You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show.
Welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show, Real Radio 104.1, 407-916-1041. You can always text our show at 77031. I am Jim. Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. Just sticking with that story thing a few minutes. We're having a bunch of people text during the break asking, what the service is that I've been talking about for the last half an hour. It's called Storyworth. Storyworth. There you go. There are a number of them. The one that Kay Rollins is using is called Life Story Pro, but the whole idea is you sign up for it, and the person you choose to target is sent a package that has a bunch of questions, and you choose that question. They write, the person you want to write it writes a page, 2 pages, whatever their memory is, and then it's sent back, and all that is, at the end of it, it's turned into a bound book that you can give to loved ones to kind of tell a little bit of a story of your life. And I have to tell you, man, I don't know if you guys are reading the texting service. It's like one after the other. After Ross mentioned his mom, he did not know who her first husband was. And I said that's got to be relatively rare. Deb was right. It is not rare at all. There are a lot of people who are texting saying they didn't know any of that. And I was like, what's your mom? What's the biggest secret you know about your mom?
Biggest secret?
Like the biggest secret that you found out recently. Because one person said they just found out their mom was married before. She's 84. They never knew that she was married before the person they knew as their father.
God, man. I got to think about a good secret.
But what I'm saying is like something. Jack, did you know something about? Did you find out something about your mom after she passed that you didn't know? Like one of your sisters tell you something or anything?
Like she could do pull-ups?
No, well, inevitably when you go through their stuff, you find things, whether it's journals or letters. And my mom used to write my sister back and forth, her sister, my aunt. And so you just had a little more insight into it, but nothing comes to mind as like major news.
Well, I have an uncle, and he's the last one living. He is kind of like the family historian, and man, he dropped a bomb on me about my family. I can't say it. I wish I could tell you. Let's just say there were some internal relationships in my family that I did not know about.
Right.
Between people who
aren't supposed to
be, having those relationships. And it was a freaking jaw dropper, like an out of this world jaw dropper. And I literally could not believe it.
Like, do you think it's affecting you?
No, it's not affecting me, but I was just like, man, because it was way before I was part of the picture or when I was like one, our child, when all this happened. I remember the people involved, but I had no idea any of that happened.
But you weren't told, and you were like, "Oh, that's why I have webbed feet."
No. No, nothing like that at all.
Okay.
But it was shocking. I wish I could tell you. Let's just say there were some relationships that should have never happened, and they did. And my uncle just said, "Hey, do you know?" And then he dropped that on me. I said, "Shut up! I don't want to know anything else." And then I said, "Keep talking," because I did want to know. Deb, you know anything like from your parents?
No, dude, my mom lives 2 blocks from me. I ain't telling you nothing.
No. What I'm saying is, did you find out something later down the road that you did not know? It doesn't have to be nefarious or anything.
I did find out that my great-grandfather, who was separated, I've told you before, from his sisters and parents, they were coming to the States, and somehow he ended up in Panama on a ship. Got on the wrong ship.
Right. And just
the ship's captain adopted him.
Which is crazy. It wasn't even a legal adoption.
No.
It was just like, hey, you come with me.
Well, I mean, he's a 13-year-old, blonde-headed, blue-eyed German boy on a ship all by himself. He doesn't speak Spanish, doesn't speak English. He had no one.
Wow, man.
I mean, and it's not like you just get on another ship and and go back. But I recently discovered that he was Jewish.
Oh, wow, really?
Even though he was so young, never saw his sisters or his parents again, that my mother always remembers her grandfather as Pentecostal.
Oh, wow.
So he was raised as Jewish, but obviously being a young boy separated from his family, he was then separated from the traditions of his birth.
All right, 407-916-1041. Says that veteran centers offer the same thing. Gets filed in the Library of Congress. So if you wanted your loved one remembered as a soldier or a veteran, that you could do that as well.
So now I'm confused, and I don't really know how Judaism works all too well. Deb, are you Jewish, or at least a little bit then?
No, because from my understanding, Judaism is passed from the mother to the children. It doesn't come from the father.
Really?
Yes, because
I knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so because he was my great-grandfather who was Jewish, not my great-grandmother.
Got it.
Yeah.
But now, I always thought, because Judaism is very interesting in the sense it's a religion, but it's also like a race.
Exactly. That's how my best friend has described it, who is Jewish. She said it's a religion, a tradition, and a race. It's all of those three things, which can be together and yet separate.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, if you're Jewish, essentially your ancestors are coming from Jerusalem.
Well, it would have come from
Israel, sorry.
The Middle East, yeah. Well, yeah, Jerusalem would be covered in that, but that's one small, one city there. My great-grandmother is the bigger mystery because she was a black woman, and we know her name, but we cannot find out who her mother was.
We just found out Deb is black and Jewish.
Wow. You're Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah. So my great-grandmother was a black woman, but we don't know who her mother was. And now that my grandmother is 97 and no longer has the memories to be able, and of course all of the people on the island that would have remembered have died now. So my mom and her brother are desperately trying to find out, gather what secrets, what information they can while they can.
And that's the idea of this. That's exactly the reason why this service exists, because of that. They wouldn't have to kind of wonder. You would have to be able, okay, let's just go to the book and see what she said.
Right.
You would kind of know from year to year what was going on. I think it's fascinating. I hope my kids do this for me. I'd love to do it.
You're just manifesting
I would legit love to do this, to have my 4 kids, do this. And you have to understand, I adopted Tori's kids, my kids, when they were like 7 and 9. So their reality with me is going to be way different than my 2 biological girls who, were through my first marriage and then into my second marriage. They never knew my first wife. They know her now, but they didn't live with her. They don't know that reality. They may have questions about things about my life before them that they don't know. I think it's fascinating.
I wonder how personal those questions get. Well, because there's some questions that are way over the line.
Well, I would think that the questions from the service are going to be relatively benign. They're going to be like, they're going to be just seeking answers. They're not going to be like lascivious or nefarious. They're not going to be like seeking to find something, salacious by any means. But I mean, it doesn't mean you can't ask a question. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, God, I know it's sad, but there's definitely a lot of questions. I think I have more questions for my dad than I do my mom.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But that's just how life happens.
Says here, my uncle had an affair with my brother's wife while he was in Vietnam.
God,
that's
the plot of Pearl Harbor.
Found out the day my dad died, he was married and had 3 kids. Did not know it. And that's happened before in a large scale. There's a guy named Charles Kroll. Right?
He was a naughty boy.
Charles Kroll was a big news guy in America for many years. He lived here on the East Coast, but little did his wife know that he had an entire family out in the Midwest and had it for, 20 years?
At least.
It was ridiculous. A couple decades, and he lived 2 lives with 2 different women.
Yep.
I would not want that life.
And we found out on his death, I think. We didn't find out until he died. That was the case.
Correct. Oh, my God.
Could you imagine that?
And now for my finale.
Here's the closer.
And he used to be on CBS Sunday Morning,
Yeah.
right? He used to be the host. Can you imagine they would both watch him?
Yes.
On TV? Oh, that's my husband.
Well, not only that, he was so beloved for taking the RV across the country and showing us the real America.
Yeah.
Not knowing that while he's doing CBS Sunday Morning was how he met what I guess you would call his second wife.
That side chick.
No, that side hustle.
A little side squeeze.
407-916-1041. Found out through Ancestry DNA that I'm Jewish, and it's from my father's side, which I guess it can't happen according to that.
I mean, I just know that from Judaism, the belief is, the mother is the one who gives the religion to the children, because a man can say, that's my child.
Is that Catholicism the same way?
No.
No, not at all.
Because, again, did you get that? A man can say, that's my child.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's from the mother.
All right, 407-916-1041. We were going to talk about this stuff with President Trump, or former President Trump, guilty. He's chose to plead not guilty on all 37 charges, which, of course, we knew was going to happen.
He's already flown back to his golf resort in New Jersey, where he will be making comments tonight.
He stopped at a Cuban restaurant on his way out. Did you see that?
Did you see who kicked it with him?
No.
Masvidal.
Oh, did he really?
Masvidal was the guy with the Miami hat.
No way. He's a fighter? Or
yeah, UFC guy.
Yeah, so of course we're going to hear from him tonight. And just reading here recently in Newsweek, just actually today, it looks like maybe some cracks are starting to show in his support system throughout Congress. You haven't seen a senator come out yet in support, have you?
Ooh.
No senators have come out in support. Only House members, and it's only the 12 crazies.
I think Rubio
did, yes.
Had some supportive comments today.
Supportive comments, but in support of?
Yes. Let me find it, because
He would be the first, by the way, and that happened today, long into this, by the way.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah, it's something to the effect of, this is unprecedented.
Well, yeah, of course it is. Yeah, we all know. That's obvious,
He
Marco.
said
Thanks.
the charges are unlike anything we've ever seen, and that this has gone too far.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. It's gone too far. You can't take stuff like that to your house. The big argument last night, by the way, if you didn't get to see Chris Christie's CNN, they're doing a series of these town halls with Republican candidates, before, and we watched the one with Mike Pence, which I thought he looked great. He looked stoic. Well, that's not a good word, because stoic means, it doesn't not mean, he looks very canned, like Mike Pence does. He's not a very dynamic speaker.
Mm-hmm.
It looks rehearsed at the nth level. Chris Christie does not come off like that. Chris Christie is pulling something very smart. Right now, what he's doing is he's going for moderates, because that's where the win is. And he told voters last night, I don't know how many people are going to be tuning in to CNN to see Chris Christie talk. I'm guessing not many Republican voters are. That's not the problem, though. The problem is it's the independents, of which we spelled out last night in his town hall. That's what you're going for. And he used these words, and of course, this is making the rounds this day. He said, loser, loser, loser.
Yeah.
Lost here, lost here, lost here. He also said that in regards to Joe Biden and President Trump, that their time was up, because Joe Biden will be 82 years old in 2024. And of course, at the end of that tenure, if he makes it, he would be 86 years old. And then, of course, pointed out Trump's age being 78, I think, 76, 78. Also into his mid-80s in that term, if that happened.
So
I found it very interesting. If you go watch it, I think you'd find it interesting as well.
A week ago, you questioned why specifically Pence and Christie were even going to bother running, because it seemed like it was already determined after their town halls.
Way different. Yeah,
you do.
I think I spoke way prematurely there. Now, I don't believe I should say this. Do I think that they have a chance to win? I think there's enough vitriol for Chris Christie and Mike Pence from the base that I don't believe they can get the nomination. I don't believe they can. But what they're both saying, specifically with Christie, with the abortion issue that is going to be a big issue with moderates, that those things are going to be in play. He is a very talented speaker. I don't know if you've ever seen him work a stage, but my man...
Yeah. Christie?
He is a destroyer on stage. Has an answer for everything, owns up. And by the way, conversely, Gavin Newsom was on Hannity last night.
Whoa!
And they had a couple run-ins. And Gavin Newsom, I've said this before, I thought the presidential thing was going to be Newsom versus DeSantis. Mm-hmm. You can't rule that out, even though President Biden is the current seemingly Democratic.
Should not be.
Well, one sneeze goes the wrong way, we're there.
And that's going to be the issue. We'll talk about this in a second. Back right after this.
As if cool pics and stories weren't enough, we also have prizes. Real Radio 1041 on Instagram is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Lowest prices on the highest quality jewelry. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Normal afternoon delays still happening on I-4 as you travel throughout the Orlando area. Things are especially slow between Osceola Parkway and Central Florida Parkway and between the Beach Line and 535. Looking at your normal delays starting to build up north and southbound on the Turnpike as well. If you see traffic problems, make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by ePass.
The Portable Uni by ePass. Now available in black. A toll pass that blends into your windshield. Finally. And Uni works on toll roads in 19 states. The Portable Uni by ePass. Get yours today on Amazon or go with uni.com.
Jim Colbert Show question of the day. You find it on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It's brought to you today by myhomebuildersnetwork.com. It's a website, but it's the website where you find Mike the Home Builder. And he is the guy who can help you whether you need a new roof, maybe it's new gutters, maybe it's replacing some of your windows, maybe it's your front door. Mike the Home Builder worked for me when I needed a new roof earlier this year because the insurance company told me I needed a new roof. Mike the Home Builder did it. Not only that, had the lowest quote of the companies I called, which was great. Did great quality, great installation, great service, all at a great price. Mike the Home Builder. He's the guy you can trust. You've heard him for years being talked about here on the Monsters. Also, he did not only my roof, gutters as well with cover, so now I don't have to empty leaves out of my gutters. Thanks, Mike. Find him online, myhomebuildersnetwork.com.
Santo Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving. From packing to delivery, Santo Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience so you can enjoy your new home in no time. Get a quote today at centomoving.com. Forget the stress, move with the best.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale Friday, June 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. But starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders can score tickets and other awesome experiences before anyone else for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last.
Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details.
What's in your wallet?
Need an oil change? Valvoline Instant Oil Change makes it easy. No appointment needed. Drive in, stay in the comfort of your car, and they will have you back on the road in no time. So why wait? Save $15 off your oil change at GetYourOilChange.com.
Backup systems. We depend on them. Even your household budget has one. And Scott Cash Advance. Up to $500 fast with no credit check. Many locations open 24/7. Some restrictions apply, subject to approval.
If it's a day that ends in Y, you're probably stuck in Florida traffic. So turn that AC up one more notch, aim the vents toward your face, and think of a better place, like the cool, colorful produce section in your favorite grocery store. Why? Because that's where all the cool, colorful, fresh from Florida produce is. Produce just tastes better when it's grown closer to home. And when you buy fresh from Florida, you're supporting local farmers and jobs in our communities. So after you're done being stopped in traffic, pick up some fresh from Florida on your way home.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything? Like your kids' friends.
Hey, boys. How do cows stay informed?
Dad, don't.
They read the Moo paper. Mr. Otis, you're the funniest.
It's good to know where you stand. And when it comes to your FICO credit score, you can with a Wells Fargo account.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getfico to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation in the United States and other countries. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Let's be real. Florida home insurance is an absolute nightmare. And with hurricane season at your doorstep, you need a home insurance company that you can depend on. That's why there's Open House. They're a tech-enabled home insurance provider that uses smart data to keep your premiums low. And you can get an obligation-free quote in seconds and join your neighbors that are saving hundreds of dollars with Open House. You can also get discounts for your smart life choices, like having a gym membership or a dog. So start saving today by going to openhouseinsurance.com. See openhouse.com insurance for details. This advertisement does not constitute a binding offer or guarantee of coverage.
This is Steve Kramer. Let me tell you a business secret. There are sketch companies out there selling awards.
Make sure the awards earned by your lawyer are from respected organizations. At Trenley Kramer Law, our lawyers have been recognized by Orlando Magazine Best Lawyers, Florida Trend Legal Elite, Super Lawyers, and listed in U.S. News as a best law firm for years. We've earned the awards that can't be bought. Trenley Kramer, TK Law, one firm for life.
Second half of the year looking busier than the first? Hire with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you ride a motorcycle in Florida, someone can hit you and hurt you and legally not have insurance to pay you. Uninsured motorist coverage can help save you from financial ruin. Injured on the go? Just call Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
Mills Air in business since 1992. That's over 30 years here in Central Florida. They're not going anywhere. Carrier factory authorized dealer. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier. Equipment change outs and upgrades right now with up to $1,275 in rebates. Visit millsair.com.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In Office Orlando.
Hi, I'm Joel Osteen. I've learned that you'll never meet the right people unless you get rid of the wrong people. Life is too short to hang around people that are pulling you down, draining your energy, keeping you from your best. I have a podcast where I talk about choosing the right people, having great relationships, so you can become all you were created to be. It's inspiring and encouraging. I think you'll enjoy it. Listen to the Joel Osteen podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This earful of Real Radio is brought to you by crimeline.org. Give a tip anonymously.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show on Real Radio 104.1.
Welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show, Real Radio 104.1, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. I am Jim. Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. Jack, we have a call here from Grant.
Yeah, Grant wanted to clear up some of our Judaism questions a little bit. He also has an insane instance of his family going, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Is this guy suggesting that we didn't nail it?
I think we did good, but he was also just explaining his current family situation, and it's definitely different than most.
Hey, Grant, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good. Hey, Jim, I don't know if you remember me. I was the guy who gave you the liquor at the basketball tournament with you and Funny Brown.
I do remember that. Yeah, I still have it.
And you taught me how to weave bacon over a pork tenderloin. But anyway, no, so I come from a big family. I have there's 7 kids. I'm the only boy. I'm the youngest. And my two older sisters actually married Jewish men. They had to convert to Judaism so that their kids could grow up Jewish.
Yeah.
They had to convert so that their kids could grow up Jewish.
Isn't that what Ivanka Trump did for Jared Kushner?
Yes, yes.
And she converted, right?
Yes, because he's fairly conservative, almost on the verge of being Orthodox.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow. Well, that's crazy.
Hey, love to tell you need to come join us out at the Gobbler's Lodge. Let's go throw some axes and some archery, bro.
All right, buddy. Thanks for me.
Gobbler's Lodge.
That says a lot.
I mean, look, when you get an invite like that, how you turn it down?
I know. How do you?
Meet me at the lodge. What's that? Gobbler's Lodge.
For some archery.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to say it like James Bond says his name.
Yeah.
Lodge. Gobbler's Lodge.
All right, 407 916-1041. So, former President Trump obviously just checks in to the courthouse down in Miami, pleads not guilty to 37 counts against him, and is on his way. Is he already landed in Bedminster?
No, he's on his way.
Yeah, he's on his way.
Takes a couple hours.
Has his comments coming a little bit later this evening. Chris Christie does a CNN town hall last night. Does a great job, I thought. trying to steer the MAGA Republicans away from them and into more of a moderate position, because, of course, that thing is losing a whole bunch for Republicans.
And what was the thing with Christie and the bridge?
Yeah,
Wasn't there a bridge gate?
Yeah, Bridgegate.
yeah.
Anderson Cooper asked him about that last night. But I guess, 3 people were arrested, and I think 1 jailed for that.
Oh, my God.
But I guess emails proved that he didn't know anything about it at all. I mean,
his issue was the beach when he
Right.
closed all of the beaches
Yeah.
for the state of New Jersey, but then he and his family were spotted out on the same beaches that no one else was.
Yeah.
I mean,
he mentioned, or they mentioned that, and I think he owned that. He goes, "Hey, I made a terrible mistake. You learn from those, you move
Right.
forward," and that's why. And same thing with Gavin Newsom. And again, I predicted, and we don't know yet, that it would be Gavin Newsom versus Ron DeSantis for the presidency in 2024. There's a lot of time between now and then, but you never know what's going to happen. And I think that Christie's message was just basically, hey, look, if you back Donald Trump and he gets the nomination, he's going to lose to President Trump or President Biden, who's 82, and just not being morbid, just talking about odds.
Yeah.
Could pass away in office, and then you're left with President Kamala Harris. And of course, that's supposed to strike fear into voters because people believe that Kamala is probably more left than even Joe Biden is, and would be a more radical president than Joe Biden is. And that is a scare tactic now that's kind of come into play.
So I'm the opposite. I thought Kamala was far less left just because of her whole police background, chief. I mean, that's me being incredibly judgmental. State attorney.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Jack? I mean, when you look at, you're a voting Democrat. I mean, you're pretty much a party line voter, right? I mean, when you look at Joe Biden as the presidential nominee in 2 years, 82 years old, I mean, does that, as a Democrat that votes that way, does it bother you?
Well, I'm not excited about it. I wish he was a younger man. Absolutely. But I don't see him. I also see some of these things like being like as a radical or extremely liberal. I think he is a moderate Democrat. I think there's a lot of room on the left there. And policy-wise, when you just look at what has been passed over his term, it's great not having to see what did the president say today, as we had to experience for the Trump term and how tumultuous and up and down and what a wild ride that was. Yes, it was entertaining, but I don't want politics to be entertaining.
I do not either.
I want them to be boring and effective.
Yeah, that's very effective. And I think that's the thing. One of the other things that Chris Christie was talking about is like, hey, when you listen to former President Trump talk, how often does he mention policy? How often does he talk about a plan that he has for America? It's none of that. It's always his own grievances, which has been my problem with him for many, many years. He's just so self-focused. How could he possibly worry about what other people need? And I think he's completely disconnected with voters, especially in the Republican Party, just simply because he is ultimately wealthy and he's very spoiled, grew up with a silver spoon, doesn't understand the idea of working for a living, getting a day's work in. And that's what the Republican Party is kind of built on, the whole idea that blue-collar worker, getting out there and grinding it out, earning your way through life.
Doing some chicken squishing?
Yeah, well, just doing some chicken squishing. What do you think, Deborah? I mean, you're a voting Democrat. You're an independent, I understand.
I'm not actually, because someone pointed out that is its own party.
Your NPA, right.
So, yeah, no party affiliation.
But when you look at him as a president at 82 years old, does that bother you, or the possibility of a Kamala Harris presidency bother you at all?
Yes and no. It bothers me because of his age. It bothers me because there has to be someone younger, more progressive, someone who hasn't been in the political life for so long. I just have to believe that there's a candidate available for that. But while we're talking about that, my bigger fear is out of the boxes found in Mar-a-Lago, what's going to come down the pike? What damage has been done to our allies, to us, to our security? What is there going to...
So that's what I was talking to my wife about last night.
Because that's what terrifies me. And it seems like we're talking about, he shouldn't have had him if he just turned him over. He wouldn't be facing
what has he done with them?
But what has he done with them? Who's had access to them? Who's
besides Kid Rock?
That's Jimmy and I were talking about that.
Genuinely the most amazing thing ever. I mean, this guy during an interview with Tucker Carlson. And by the way, I'm not making this up. You can certainly look at this. Jokingly says to Tucker Carlson that Donald Trump was showing him highly sensitive information because he thought it was cool because Kid Rock's a celebrity and former President Trump is fascinated, obsessed with celebrity. He's obsessed with it, by the way.
Not to mention ball with the ball still rips.
Yeah, it does rip. I agree there. But he's showing him this. Kid Rock is talking to Tucker Carlson like he's talking to a guy at a bar and telling him, and he actually says in the context of the interview, he says, I'm seeing these maps and I'm seeing this stuff, and I say, man, I don't feel like I should be looking at this.
And that's Kid Rock.
Kid Rock says that. Which
so
is
that's
genuinely amazing.
That's my concern.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand right now. I mean, we're not even in the thick of it yet. But
Right.
my concern is, what kind of fallout are we looking at from this that we haven't even begun to consider?
And see, the thing I was talking to my wife about last night because we were watching the Chris Christie thing, and we were talking, and you know, as it came up, she said, well, why didn't he just give them back? And I said, well, Tori, that's really the big thing. Is like nobody can understand why he would do that, because this is all self-imposed, by the way. All of this. Simply, we wouldn't even be talking about this had he just given them back. But he did not do that. He kept them, and not only kept them, we found out he flew those boxes, which you referred to, Chris Christie says, like a family member. My boxes. He flew his boxes to Bedminster. So he actually flew the information to his estate up in the north so he could have them around him at all times. And then Deb is absolutely exactly right. What we're not hearing a lot about, but I've read that it's brewing underneath, is our allies are incensed by this.
Well, of course.
Absolutely out of their mind, because I know with France and with Great Britain, and I want to say at least 2 other countries, that there was highly sensitive information about not only their assets, but their nuclear programs, their war programs, their plans if attacked.
Right, their military capabilities.
All of that was laid out black and white and in photographs and maps in that information that he had access to for, over a year and a half?
And because
2 years?
we know, of Jared Kushner's alliances with the Saudis, there's every reason for every single one of our allies to just... for them, too, to wonder how much damage has been done. And it bothers me that that's not being spoken of. And maybe there's a reason why, because there's damage control at every level of the government and our intelligence services trying to repair relationships so that, we don't get another, God forbid, coming down the pipe.
Exactly. And by the way, somebody just texted in, do you really believe Kid Rock? By the way, this happened before the revelation of the boxes was even found. So
yeah, and of course I believe Kid Rock.
This was before that. So why would he lie to Tucker Carlson? He's in a safe space. Like he's talking to why would he lie about that? Why would he make that up? It would only hurt his guy. There's no reason to lie about it. And can I tell you, he didn't know to or not to lie about it. He's just telling a story about being around the President of the United States, showing him highly sensitive information that even he thought was too much. Kid Rock thought it was too much. That moron. Ball with the duh.
Still rips. That beginning gets me going.
I hate that I like it so much.
I love it.
I hate that I like it so much.
Yeah, if you have not ran the ball with the ball.
Oh, my God. And he comes out in a mink coat with no shirt and a top hat. What are you kidding?
That little small friend.
How do you like that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, little small friend.
It's Joe. God rest his soul. He died.
Were you friends?
Yeah. No, what?
Okay. To Christie's comment earlier when you brought this up, that he said both of those candidates, Trump, Biden, their time is up. And I was curious. And I found out they are literally the 2 oldest presidents we've ever had.
Exactly.
It's number 1 Biden, number 2 Trump.
He said this. Their combined age is 165 years. Or something like that. He said their combined age is almost as old as the country itself.
Biden got the job at 78 years, 2 months. Trump got it at 70 years, 7 months.
Yeah.
And here's the other issue. I mean, some of those boxes were near a copier.
Yeah.
And now today it just came out that the PGA chairman, is that his
Jay
role?
Monahan?
Yeah, is now blaming Congress for the live deal.
Yeah.
Saying, well, you left us to flounder on our own. You made it so that we had to enter this controversial deal, because now there's a Senate committee that wants to look into the deal.
They are looking into it.
So
that's where that came out. Because they were questioning him.
But now Moynihan's saying, well, it's Congress's fault. Well, I don't get where it's their fault. You cashed the check, right?
Yeah. This thing's crazy,
it's all
though.
Dirty.
And I have to tell you, the problem is, and I will tell you another problem for Trump supporters out there, and I just want to give you this information. This This is not me being biased. Remember, I am a voting Republican. I have no problem with Republicans. It has nothing to do with it. I do not like this guy. I don't think he's good for our country, and I think he's been absolutely a travesty for our party. The information that's been the most damning, I read this morning, came from his own attorneys, his own family members. And Chris Christie said, what you're seeing in the indictment now is just a portion of the evidence they have. No special prosecutor will release the entire indictment with all the evidence because that's part of the whole idea. So he says if you're seeing this now, chances are what you're not seeing is actually even worse than what we know now. Every single legal expert I've seen and read and respected, by the way, these are bipartisan lawyers, said that it's a really bad situation. Like he could do a minimum of 4.5 to 5 years and a maximum of 20. And I also heard that if he was one of his attorneys would simply say, you know, if you don't want to die in jail, these are the things that you need to do. He had a year to get these back, and he chose not to. A year. They asked him nicely. They only raided his house because he refused to cooperate for information that wasn't his. He doesn't own it. That's our property, the taxpayers' property. Just because you're president doesn't mean you get that stuff. You don't get to take it home like it's a souvenir.
Yeah, it's not Blockbuster. After a year, it's not like they stop chasing.
Well, and here's the other thing.
Real quick, look, the Republican Party is the party of the military, right? And I agree with that 1,000%. Hyper-fund the military. And more now than ever, hyper-funded. Nikki Haley is saying exactly the right thing. This guy put our military in jeopardy. He put our national security in jeopardy. And like Deborah said, we don't know the scope of how much yet. We don't even know that yet because we don't know like I said months ago, if I was the special prosecutor and I was the DOJ, every guy that entered that Mar-a-Lago, and I believe they know everybody that's entered those doors, I would confiscate every cell phone, every effing one of them. Everybody who's ever been on that property, I would take your cell phone and I would make sure no photographs. I would do a forensic search of every one of them. This is our national security we're talking about. This is not some box of stuff. This is information that is vital to protecting this country and our way of life, our democracy and freedom. It is imperative that we know everything about that. Everything, every syllable on every piece of paper that was in that building, we need to know where it is, where it was, and where it is going, or where it could be going. Sorry.
I was just going to mention that for everyone texting in about the boxes that Biden... The difference with this is that it's not when the boxes were found with Mike Pence, when they were found with Biden, they turned them back in. This is all about a man who took boxes and did everything he could to keep them. And the question is, why? Why was he keeping them and not giving them back to the National Archives? So there is no parallel comparison.
And for the record, somebody's like, oh, it's the Hillary thing again, right? I completely understand that. I said when that whole thing happened with the emails, that she should have been investigated and possibly prosecuted. I believe that wholeheartedly. Chris Christie said that last night. I agree 1,000%. Anybody, I don't care who it is or what letters beside your name. If you put this country's democracy and freedom and security at risk, you deserve to be locked up. I don't care who it is. If the Pope did it, lock him up. I do not care one bit about it. I agree 1,000%. Everybody who did that, they should have been investigated wholeheartedly. And that could have happened. It did not. But we know this. And somebody said he had the ability to keep them. He didn't have to give them back. That is not true.
Obviously.
That is obviously not true, buddy. I got bad news for you. It's not true. Pick another candidate. That's what Republicans need to do right now. And I'm talking to you guys out there. Pick another candidate. Find somebody you're comfortable with. Former President Donald Trump cannot win the election against Joe Biden. The moderates will not vote for him. Independents will not vote for him. I'm telling you straight up, find somebody else to vote for that you like, that you think represents as much of Donald Trump as they possibly can without being him. Do it, because that guy is not going to win the election. And it's going to cause further strife in your party. If you care about the Republican Party and where it's going, you will choose somebody else to vote for. Do your research. Start watching these CNN town halls. Find out what they stand for. Pick somebody and get behind them. It's time. Got to move on. There's a future out there that does not have Donald Trump's name on it. His time came. He blew it. And now it's time for him to go. This is a normal story in politics and in life in general. You get your shot. You score or you don't. You move on. Just like the Miami Heat last night. Had their shot, blew it, now they're out. It happens all the time. It is the cycle of politics. Find somebody else that you like and vote for them. Let's get a leader that we can respect up there. Somebody you don't have to defend every day because of their moral ineptitude. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Back in a sec with trivia.
We have a prize. Get on board at 407-916-1041. Jim Colbert Show Trivia is brought to you by Cento Family Moving and Storage. That's CENTO moving.com.
This is Super Bowl champion Alfred Williams. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Congrats to the Nuggets as Nikola Jokic powered Denver to their first title. Like Giannis, the Joker is changing the league. Big men who handle the ball and do everything. Jokic is coachable, selfless. His team-first playing style and attitude makes the flashy players look silly and irrelevant. There was one Kareem and one Magic, and there is only one Jokic. I'm Colin Cowherd.
Style runs in the family. Athleticism runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The Mercedes-Benz range of SUVs. Learn more at MBUSA.com or test drive one at your local dealer.
Man, let me tell you something. If you want the best possible way to make sure that your health is good for a long time, you got to get with my friends over at Life Imaging FLA. Man, when it comes to your long-time health care, you want the most information possible, and that is where Life Imaging FLA comes into play, because with Life Imaging FLA, there's no guessing game. It's just hard data in real time, so you can create a health care plan that's proactive, like Ross said, and not reactive. That's not what you want. My full body scan from Life Imaging FLA told you guys all about it. Now I know I have small cysts on my kidneys. I have the beginning of diverticulitis and a moderately swollen prostate gland. You know what that does? Doesn't scare me. It allows me to form a health care plan with my primary care physician to attack these issues head on. No more guessing. Do what I did. Call Life Imaging FLA right now. Get that free heart scan. Got a few minimum requirements, but that's a $699 value. And while you're there, ask about their cancer screening as well. Unbelievable service. Try it today. Just pick up your cell phone, dial pound 250, keyword free heart scan. That's pound 250. Say the keyword free heart scan, and you'll be connected in seconds. Do not wait one more second. Make that very important appointment right now. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Tobacco-Free Florida has many free ways to help you quit nicotine. From free 2-week starter kits of quit aids to free cessation services like Phone Quit and Group Quit. We're even trying out new motivational tactics.
You're the greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter of all.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
So what could you do with 8 hours? With that much time, probably a lot, right? Or nothing at all sounds pretty good too. With an 8-hour battery life, a vape device from Blue gives you the freedom to unplug. So relax, disconnect, or just let yourself focus on getting your own stuff done with a full 8 hours of unlit you time. Blue, get unlit. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Underage sale prohibited. Blue is a trademark of Fonum Holdings 4BV. Copyright 2022, Fonum US LLC.
In St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra, it might feel like there's not enough time to take everything in. Because once you're done exploring 42 miles of pristine coast, marveling at historical architecture, and enjoying world-class food, it'll be time to check out and head home. But that's okay. You can always stay just one more day. Visit FloridasHistoricCoast.com to learn more. It's about time.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for summer 2023. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Orlando area attorneys. Office in Orlando. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hogue, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before. Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6 star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Santo Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving. From packing to delivery, Santo Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience so you can enjoy your new home in no time. Get a quote today at CentoMoving.com. Forget the stress, move with the best.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show, also available to watch. Yeah. We like it when you watch at The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show, Real Radio 104.1, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Guy says, I love how defensive you get on the air. Obviously, you're getting a lot of nasty texts. We do get a lot of nasty texts, but I'm not being defensive at all. I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, that's it. I'm just telling you straight up. All the analytics say right now there's no way you can win. If you want another loss like you got in 2020, you keep thinking the way you're thinking. Somebody's like, well, what about the religious right? That's not enough. That's not going to do it. What you need to be thinking about is the independents, the 7 to 10%. Stop thinking about the base. The base is nothing. That's a start. The base only hurts other candidates. It's the 7 to 10%. Start doing your research and reading. Stop just believing the talking points. Read. If you really are a Republican that really cares about the party, read. Learn. Stop listening to idiots. Just read and learn on your own. Find out what the real deal is, and then you'll understand. 7 to 10%, those are the numbers you need to think about. That's the moderates. That's what swings for elections. That's what he lost in 2020. Read. So sick of it. Stupid. Just absolute ignorance at the highest effing level. 407-916-1041. Welcome back. I'm Jim Colbert. This is the Jim Colbert Show. Deb is here. Jack is here. Let's find out what's in the old sauce jar.
All aboard!
Chugga chugga.
Sons of bitches. Clickety effing clack. Clickety effing clack.
I have a parrot.
Oh my God, one more hour.
Not angry at all.
The clickety mad, clickety mad.
Jack, I loathe ignorance. I loathe it. If you're going to say something to me and combat my opinion, come at me with a fact that you didn't get from Truth Social. That's what I want. Quote a legitimate journalist when you come to me with some facts. I'm sick and tired of hearing these stupid talking points from idiots. I'm absolutely done with it. Just read, man.
Speaking of read, a pair of tickets to see Duran Duran Saturday, June 17th at the Amalie Arena. That is your sauce jar, which is always brought to you by
Cento Family Moving and Storage. Go local and support a family-owned and operated Orlando moving and storage company. Just make sure you mention the Jim Colbert Show, because that will get you a discount. Book them today at centomoving.com. That's CENTO moving.com.
Thanks, Deb. Ross, who goes first today?
This is what happens when he doesn't have his pistachios. Let's welcome Mark.
Mark right there at the bar. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the program.
Doing great, man. How are you?
Doing fine. By the way, also, somebody said a second ago, you're not taking calls, you're a coward. Buddy, I got to tell you, I'll open the phones up to 620 and you can flood the lines. I will just let you talk. I don't even care. I'll just let you say whatever you got to say. Nobody's going to hang up on you. No one's afraid of you. I don't have an agenda. None of that. I'm just telling you, if you put that guy up against Joe Biden, he will lose in 2024. Without question. Hey, buddy, you want to play a little game with us?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, let's do it.
Want to play a game?
I like to win, man. I play the odds to win. I'm here because I like to play the odds to win. I'm here, sitting in this chair right now, following the guy that I thought was the biggest legend, and I dreamed of it when I was a kid. I'm sitting right here because I pay attention and I do stuff that makes a difference. I read, I learn. I should not be here. I'm a high school educated idiot from Palatka, Florida. I should not be in this chair. This job was not built for a guy like me, but I'm here. Pay attention. All right, Mark, here we go. This is an easy game. I got a question here for you, 4 answers. One of them is a lie. If you can find that one, I will send you to the sauce jar. Here we go. On this day in 1981, film and Broadway actor, director, star of a Marvel Universe dynasty,
Downey Jr.
has played more than one superhero in his life.
Oh, Evans. Chris Evans.
Chris Evans is the answer. Very good.
Yeah, Human Torch and Captain America.
Perpetually one of the People magazine's best-looking men. I think he was in 2022. He is Captain America. Of course, we're talking about Chris Evans. Here are 3 fun facts about Chris and 1 perfect smile of a lie. Number 1, he is a passionate about tap dancing. Number 2, the first person he told after losing his virginity was his mom. Number 3, he has over 100 skydives under his belt. Or lastly, he's a practicing Buddhist. Which one of those is a lie?
Oh, man. I'm kind of hoping it's number 2 because that's embarrassing.
Yeah, no, that is true. The first person he told after losing his virginity was his mom.
Wow.
Kind of a weird look. Whatever. Apparently she's a good listener. Who's next?
Let's welcome Scott.
Scott, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Good, buddy. Talking about Chris Evans here. Which one of these is untrue? Number 1, he's passionate about tap dancing. Number 2, he has over 100 skydives under his belt. Or he's a practicing Buddhist.
Let's go with the skydiving.
Yeah, that's the one, buddy. I'm going to put you on hold. You're a winner. There you go. He is a passionate tap dancer. Been doing it for a while. He is a practicing Buddhist. Been doing that for a while. Also, some other things you may not know about Chris Evans as we move forward. He grew up listening to and memorizing Disney songs. He's after your heart, Deborah.
Oh, wow.
He's dying to be in a Disney musical, and he's wanted to for a long time. His father is a dentist, which explains that radiant smile of his.
That's America's ass right there.
It's funny. You ready for this? On the set of Captain America, his nickname was Captain Little Ass.
Well, that's what I just... It was a quote of dialogue from one of the Avengers movies.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, when he fights himself.
And then lastly, his dream before any of this happened was to be an animator for Disney. Because he likes to draw and stuff, and that's what he really wanted to do.
That's
there you
a
go.
Disney fan.
Chris Evans. Oh, he's a massive Disney fan. He goes all the time, apparently. Like, we have people here in Orlando that they go to the parks like on the weekends, like every weekend. Apparently, he's that guy. Crazy about Disney stuff. And not only Little Mermaid, but apparently he has memorized all of the songs and all of the music from the classic early Disney animated films. Bambi, Mermaid, all those. Ross, thoughts?
Violated. Wronged. Bamboozled. All 3. All of the above. Never thought this would happen. It did. I got really cute and romantic with my wife last night.
Very nice.
And I thought she was awake.
We'll just stop there?
Yeah. There's your tease.
All right. Ross Thoughts up next.
Real Radio 104.1 is 30 years old. Guess it's time to move out of our parents' guest house. Garage. Thanks for keeping the dream alive over 3 decades.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Looking at some slow traffic on I-4 this afternoon in the Orlando area as you travel between the Beach Line and 535 and between US 27 and World Drive. Looking at some minor delays due to a crash reported on Clarkona-Ocoee Road near the 429 and West Road. If you happen to see any other traffic problems today, make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Take 5 Oil Change. At Take 5, they're faster than you think. That means they'll change your oil and get you back on the road in less time than it takes to get over from the express lane to the exit ramp. Just sit back and relax while their fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
This summer, Dunkin' is shaking things up with even more iced drinks to love, like the new Raspberry Watermelon Dunkin' Refresher. Try it and all the Dunkin' Refreshers this summer. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
A small roof leak can lead to a big problem if not repaired. Call the professionals at Skylight Roofing for all your roofing needs. 407-430-ROOF. Get your free roof inspection, skylightroofing.com. Roof with us.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Rise and shine, honey. We don't want to miss our flight.
Our flight is in 7 hours. And we have TSA pre-check with our Navy Federal flagship credit card.
TSA pre-check? Getting my bugle through security will be so much easier now.
Learn how you can earn up to 3 times points on travel with the flagship credit card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Eating good is about more than just tasty food. Eating good is about doing good, too. And that's exactly what Fresh from Florida is all about. Supporting local Florida farmers, creating jobs in our communities, and of course, making sure you can enjoy all the fresh flavors Florida has to offer. Because produce tastes better when it's grown closer to home. So eat good tonight. Look for the Sunny Fresh from Florida logo where you shop. Learn more at followfreshfromflorida.com.
Unexpected expenses don't exactly come with an installment plan.
What if they could? An AmScott installment cash advance from $100 to $1,000 could mean more money and more time to pay it back. AmScott, some restrictions apply, subject to approval.
Hello, Floridians. Today is a good day to do great things. Yes! Like finally getting your closet organized. Or fixing your water heater so you can enjoy warm, steamy showers. Oh, yeah! Do something great today by calling Plumbing Today to take care of all your plumbing needs. Right now, get our 93 or free drain clearing and get the best from today.
Call today, Plumbing Today, plumbingtoday.biz.
Visit plumbingtoday.biz to book an appointment.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
When it comes to $1 small Slurpee drinks at 7-Eleven, no one's doing it like you.
You're inventing new flavor combos, throwing caution to the wind. You're a frozen fizz whiz, a pina colada prodigy. You mix cherry and blue raspberry like a pro. Only you know the perfect ratio. Just when they think you're done, you add a splash of summertime citrus, just because you can. And because your small Slurpee drink masterpiece is just $1 at 7-Eleven. Slurpee, anything flows. Expires 12/31/2023 plus tax. Visit store for details.
This earful of real radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Midsummer Days. We're celebrating with fun in-store events for IKEA family members and lots of savings.
Oh, hi. I'm looking for extra chairs to host my pickleball team dinner.
We can help you save on that and more.
Great. And that flower crown looks amazing.
Come make your own in-store on June 23rd through 25th. Plus, buy tickets to the June 23rd Swedish Midsummer Buffet at your local store. Go to IKEA-USA.com/midsummer for more details. Offer valid 5/30 to 7/4. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store on IKEA-USA.com for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
Best price the first time. OrangeBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because clients and character matter. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. We now return to the Jim Colbert Show. Already in progress.
This is a talk back test. I want tacos.
Yeah, you got it, dog. You're in the running. It's that simple. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show here on Real Radio 104.1. I am Jim. Deb is here.
Hello.
She didn't want to be, but she is. Jack is as well.
Happy
I want to be here.
Happy place.
And so is Ross. Yeah, one of the questions is like, how uncomfortable is everybody? I mean, I don't know. I get upset because here's what I get upset about, guys. I'll tell you the number one thing. First things first, let me say this. I think Donald Trump is a very entertaining guy. I think he's a real, and can I tell you, if he's in a room, chances are the crowd's around him. He's magnetic. My problem is he didn't use that talent well enough, and it became so self-focused that he doesn't, like, I'll give you an example. When's the last time you heard Donald Trump actually talk about something that he wants to do for the country? Like, both of the candidates that I watched, Mike Pence and Chris Christie on the CNN town halls, all they talked about is what they want to do for the country. Changes they plan on making to make our lives better, the way that Republicans see it. Donald Trump doesn't talk about things like that. He talks about how he's persecuted and how his life has changed and what happens to him. I want to hear about policy. I want to hear about changes he plans on making. I want to hear the things that are really going to define him as a president and change our lives for the better. That's what I want to hear, but that doesn't ever come out because he's always having to defend himself because of his egregious and abhorrent behavior. That's my problem. Like, as a person, I don't care about him either way. But you can't tell me that there's not one of these people that are running for the presidency that can't do as good a job as Donald Trump without all the BS, without constantly putting our allies in situations they don't want to be in. That's the problem. It's a total picture. And here's the thing I say about reading and learning. It's this that makes me say things like this. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. I promise I don't. And I don't mean to feel like I'm scolding somebody who ever voted for Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump. I made the mistake of voting for Donald Trump. I thought Donald Trump could turn his personality around and use that magnetism and that electric personality of his to do a lot of good in this country. It didn't turn out that way. He had his shot, didn't work out real well. He lost in 2020, legit lost, and now we're moving on. Somebody says right here, says the fun part is if Trump doesn't win the primary, he'll run as a third party.
He's not allowed.
And if you would just read instead of listening to people tell you things and actually learn on your own, you would learn exactly what Deb just said. Why don't you do me a favor? Google sore loser laws. Just Google that. And then all of you who think he's going to run as a third-party candidate can move on to the next argument. 6 key states in this country do not allow that to happen. It's their law. He's out for that. Can't happen. Can't win without him. Next. What's next that you heard that you've been told is right? Phones are open, by the way. 407-916-1041. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's do some Ross thoughts. I'm so sorry, buddy.
I love you.
It's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
Now check this out.
It's
I want to win.
Spelled like sauce.
Watch this.
It's Ross Thoughts.
Watch this pivot. Ross Thoughts is brought to you by Persimmon Hollow Brewing Company, providing elite beer to elite Central Florida. So check this out. Last night, a rarity happened. This is embarrassing for both me and my wife. I also, the segment's going to get a little spicy when you text her day of and go, hey, do I have permission
to
share what happened?
Oh, you're learning.
Yeah. I've learned.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That's a big step.
Well, it's also because the segment is about her.
Yeah.
So, I would say coin flip. And I know this is rare, and I know that this is very unromantic, and it's something that I'm genuinely trying to work on, especially in these last couple of months, is that me and my wife usually go to bed at different times. I get home, I'm home at 7:30. Maybe I did an open mic. I'm back home at 10:30, 11, sometimes midnight, and then she's, already asleep. Her in time is like 7:30 sometimes.
Wow.
So a lot of times, I don't go to bed at the same time as my wife. And it's always in the back of my mind that's bothered me.
I think that's pretty common. Maybe pretty common in relationships. Guys like to stay up, maybe watch some sports. Wife doesn't want to watch sports, goes in to hang out.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened last night.
No.
We both found ourselves pretty tired around like 10:30, 11, which was rare for me. And we went to bed at the same time. And I was like very adamant about like, man, I'm going to fall asleep with her in my arms today.
Man, that's very romantic.
I don't care how sweaty it gets. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. Sometimes when you're holding somebody and you go to sleep.
Yeah, your arm falls asleep.
Now your left arm feels like it's full of sand.
Oh, yeah.
You think you're having a health scare, but no, it's just the weight of a shoulder.
I get those waves like that, too, where I feel ultimately grateful that you have somebody in your life that you can lean on like that.
Something took
Yeah.
over, and I was like, man, I just really want to hold my girl and go to sleep. And I found out something about how my wife goes to sleep. Way faster than me.
Oh, really?
Way faster. We're talking like gym status quick sleep.
Yeah.
It takes
I don't know. That's pretty quick.
It takes you, 2-3 minutes to be able to doze out?
I can fall asleep pretty quickly.
30 to 45 seconds.
I was so committed to holding my wife and going to sleep that I stayed up for like 30 minutes and just heard her sleep.
Oh.
That's so sweet.
It kind of wasn't, because I was in this weird position where I'm like, yeah, this really is cute, but there's no cameras. Now I'm losing sleep trying to be cute. And then this is what I had to ask for permission for. As I'm trying to okay, we're done holding, and I slide my arm out, right? Yeah. She toots.
Oh, man, I knew.
She tooted. I've heard that before, and we've gotten laughs. Never on me.
Because you were pressed ham.
I was pressed ham. So not only was it was like on me.
Mm-hmm. Get you in the belly button?
A little bit further south.
Yeah.
Did it make your balloon animal flutter? Balloon animal flutter.
Little
Show title.
Little sack shaker?
Did she rattle your nuts?
And she
in
still
the tree?
Does not believe me that this happened. And now it's kind of become like
it's a lore.
Yeah, it's a myth. And now she thinks I might be lying about it.
What?
And they're like, I'm not gonna lie about your sleep toots. This happened. I don't blame you. You kind of weren't there. You were asleep. And I don't know what it was. I think it might have been the green curry cauliflower that hit you hard.
That would be definitely fuel for that.
I think that's what's guilty right there.
Oh, man.
I think that,
green curry cauliflower sounds amazing, by the way, but it does sound like fart fuel.
So, and then I'm talking to my friend who's also in a significant relationship, and then I realized that part of our body, which I get it, sometimes it's funny, sometimes not, everything has a place, whatever. But what I love is, as unique as our thumbprints are, is as unique for the rules of toots.
The rules of toot.
Per relationship.
The game of toot.
Yeah, I'm talking to my friend. He goes, yeah, dude, she would never do that in front of me.
I see what you're saying.
She would never do that.
And
now, and then I look at my wife, and I'm like, I kind of do your thing. Be a human in front of me. I want the authentic. If you got snot, I'll wipe it. Whatevs, we've done some nasty things.
Okay, buddy.
A fart isn't going to be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But the weird thing was is that, it was on me.
Well, it doesn't stick to you. It's not like a Post-it note.
Some of them can be clingy.
Yeah.
Clingy.
like
where you need the serrated edge.
And I feel like I have a good stomach for that stuff.
Right.
Like I can watch things. I don't get squeeze easy or wheezy. I mean,
now is this a fart that told you it loved you after the second date?
No, it wasn't. It was like, what are you doing here? This is my bed.
But that is an ultimate rarity with my wife. I mean, when it happens, it is hilarious. But I mean, it's once a year, maybe.
Once a year, Christmas Eve.
I mean, dude, it is once a year.
But I'm curious though. Quickly, what are your flatulent vibes in y'all's relationships? I understand. Now, Deb, I think you have the easiest route here. Jack, I think you have the hardest route of answering that question.
Why?
Jim, you have no route because you just answered it.
Yeah.
Once a year,
but
which is odd, for a good old calendar reminder.
But here's the thing: it's not in her sleep. I've never heard her doing it in her sleep.
It was my first time ever in the sleep.
Really?
And it was the one time I'm holding her.
She was just eating ice cream the other day.
Okay.
And just eating ice cream. And I just look over and it happened. And she starts laughing at herself so much that she laughed another one out.
Oh, my God. Rocky Road? Rocky Road shakes stuff out.
She's a vanilla with magic shell girl. Kicking it back to Redneck Town.
Jack, I know we're up against the clock, but tell me, what are your toot rules?
For me?
Yeah. Are you're
I would think sleeping.
Let me ask you a quick question. Do you do it in front of her?
Like I was
you
just
don't,
saying,
you don't hit me as a guy that does it in front of your wife.
Not on purpose, kind of. But if she's sleeping, I don't consider it in front of her. So if we're in bed and she's sleeping, I'll do it. But I will have the courtesy blanket flap.
Oh, yeah.
So I will kind of try and send it away from the bed.
That's the question, though.
What a gentleman.
Do you flap or do you hold it in and hope that it doesn't seep out?
I have to tell you, I had gas about a month ago so bad that it was offensive to me.
Then you need to go sleep in the living room.
I actually got up and walked into another room to do that, and she asked me what you're doing. And I looked at her, I said, I am saving your life is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
But man,
I should have ovened her, but I didn't.
And I'm super curious. Texting service. I found out that every relationship has their own flatulence rules, or at least their own comfort thing. Mm-hmm. And I found out where my line was last night.
Don't do it on me.
Not on me. That's my rule.
That's your fart constitution.
I think I need a good foot. I'm not asking for much. I need a foot separation. You know what I need not a foot separation of?
I do.
Great beer. Ross Thoughts is always brought to you by Persimmon Hollow Brewing Company. Now, I want to clear something up because yesterday I talked about the Southbound Hiker, the New England IPA, that juicy IPA. That's my favorite kind of beer, that New England IPA. But let me get this straight. Don't get the script flipped, peeps. My favorite beer is that Blood Orange Wheat. Now, that is a great summer beer. If you're looking for a great night beer, you have to try the Southbound Hiker. That's an IPA. It's going to be a little bit thicker. It's going to be tasting a little bit more. It is amazing. It is such a great beer. And they just released the Southbound Hiker New England IPA in cans now. They have 5 locations. Run. Do not walk for that beer. You will not regret it. You can taste how much Andy and Robbie, the two guys behind Persimmon Hollow Beer, how much they care. This is what their passion is. So taste how much you can taste. If you've never had a New England IPA, let that be your first one.
Oh, yeah,
they have 5.
That's a great jumping off point.
They have 5 locations all throughout Central Florida. My location is the one right next to Lake Eola. You won't regret it. So go. Enjoy it. Enjoy a Persimmon Hollow Beer today. Drink sensibly, but get weird. And visit them at phbeer.com. Those are your Ross Thoughts. Not on me. I'm out. Peace.
All right, 407-916-1041. By the way, the phones are open. I've said some things over the last hour that have caused some the texting service to disagree with me.
A kerfuffle?
A kerfuffle. If you have an opinion about this, I will gladly listen to you. I have no interest in yelling at you or trying to change your mind. I would just like to hear where you're coming from, your opinion on why you're gonna you would vote for President Trump. I would love to hear your opinion. Let's give it. We're a talk show. This is what we do. 407-916-1041. Let's load them up. See what you got to say. We'll do that next.
Coming up tonight on Real Radio at 7. It's a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Brought to you by Gringos Locos and SecuredRoofingAndRestoration.com. At 9 p.m., it's Real Laughs with comedians James, Miguel, Mike, and Ken. And Real Music starts tonight at 10 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Lowest prices on the highest quality jewelry. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Looking at some slow traffic on I-4 this afternoon in the Orlando area as you travel between the Beach Line and 535 and between US 27 and World Drive. Looking at some minor delays due to a crash reported on Clarkona-Ocoee Road near the 429 and West Road. If you happen to see any other traffic problems today, make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Phantom Fireworks.
Just a reminder for this and every 4th of July that the rocket's red glare and the bombs bursting in air are brought to backyards across America by Phantom Fireworks. Visit fireworks.com for specials, coupons, and a location near you.
Man, when it comes to your AC, you got to make sure that you have the company that is going to take care of you every single time you need to. Real life situation this morning. Deborah last night found out that her mom's AC quit on her, 75 years old. It's 95 degrees with a heat index of about 103 today. Obviously, that's not doable. I call Leon Mills. I forget he's on vacation in the Keys on a fishing boat at 8:30 this morning. What do you think he does? He actually calls his office and sets up an appointment in Mount Dora for a tech to handle her today. He's there now, making sure that her AC can get her through the weekend and then get her a plan for her new AC. That is Mills Air. That's what they do. 30 years experience here in Central Florida, but they're run by one of the best guys out there. Leon is just that guy you want on the job, and that's how they take care of their customers. And she wasn't even a customer. She had another company handling her, but they weren't doing the job right. So we got Mills on the job, and now things are fine. That can happen for you as well. Plus, they're Carrier Factory authorized dealers, and that can get you up to $1,275 in rebates towards that brand new Carrier unit. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier, and certainly turn to the experts at Mills Air. They're family owned and operated guys, and ready to help you right now. It's 407-277-1159. Online, millsair.com.
The money's good and the bids are high. It's speedy, fast. The check is on Bank of America, and it's real. Give me the VIN.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. Give me the VIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
It happens in a matter of seconds, but the aftermath can last a lifetime. Car crash, slip and fall. There's only one Mo you should call. The Mo you know. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
My fellow Americans, R.C. Hill here from R.C. Hill Mitsubishi. I think it's high time we celebrate. To help you relieve stress and start having fun again. It's time to let freedom ride and break free from your old ride. And declare your independence in a nicer, newer car for just $7 down. Have you been feeling put down, fed up, or just plain tired? Then it's time to let freedom ride. So keep your cash and drive a new 23 Outlander for just $7 down. All RC Hill Mitsubishis include a lifetime limited warranty. Even if you've heard no in the past, America is a land of opportunity. And I believe everyone deserves to drive a nicer, newer car today. So kick your old ride to the curb and let freedom ride for just $7 down. But hurry, this celebration ends soon. I'm RC Hill, your car dealer next door. Get free at rchill.com. That's rchill.com.
$7 down requires lease approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Example, stock number NY2354. $7 down, $3.89 per month for 84 months, 3.9 APR.
Here's a top move for hiring a divorce attorney. See how they look and handle themselves on video or audio. Chances are that's them at their best, with editing, setup, and multiple takes. The courtroom is live. Mediation is live. Make sure your divorce lawyer is going to make you look good. At Trenley Kramer Law, we handle family law and divorce. TK Law, onefirmforlife.com.
We hear you, Orlando, loud and clear. You are growing, people are thriving, and business is booming. Ocean Bank has been helping businesses grow for over 40 years. And now, we are here to bring you even more possibilities with our new branch right in the heart of the city. The power of Ocean has come to Orlando. Visit us at our new branch in downtown or go online to oceanbank.com to learn more. Ocean Bank, member FDIC.
I'm Charles. I got a bad back injury when a truck crashed into my car. You know those lawyer ads. All they talk about are themselves and money, money, money. I wanted the best doctors for my back. I called attorney Glenn Clausman. He got me to really good doctors, and I'm doing great. Glenn was always available to talk to. He got me a great settlement and quicker than I thought possible. Car crash? Call Clausman at 407-917-1718. KLAUSMAN law.com.
Office, Winter Park.
A small blue raspberry Slurpee drink from 7-Eleven is the perfect frozen accessory for any summer outfit, winter outfit, or midnight craving outfit. We don't judge. We just sell small Slurpee drinks any flavor for only $1. Slurpee. Anything flows. Expires 12/31/2023 plus tax. Visit store for details.
Storm season is here, and Duke Energy is ready. With innovative technology and new ways to reroute power to help prevent outages in all kinds of weather. We're strengthening our systems, ready to restore power quickly and safely, while keeping you informed about outages with text and email alerts. It's all part of building a smarter energy future for you. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
Heard of the job? Dial pound 529 on your cell. Pound law, that's all.
We now return to the Jim Colbert Show.
Hi, Jim Colbert Show. Talking about farting in front of our spouses. I continue to play this game called Doorknob Safety. Been doing it since middle school, high school. Husband's in on it, all the friends, all the family. If you fart in front of me and I hear it and I call doorknob, you have to run and find a doorknob. Otherwise, I get to beat you up until you do. Otherwise, you fart in front of me, you call safety before I know, you're safe.
Wow.
It's a good game. You should play.
Sounds like fun.
I'm going to pass on that one. I'll just stick with Punch Buggy.
I love it. I get to beat you up until you do.
Don't want that peanut butter. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Welcome back. I am Jim. Deb is here. She's unconscious.
Conjunctivitis.
Jack is here. We cannot tell that story on there. That's a podcast thing. And we don't have an X-ray. We need one of those news junkie podcasts where we can say whatever we want.
Listen, I just want to give props to the listener who texted us that at 77031. I was embarrassed reading it to Jim. I can't imagine it happening.
Ross is here as well. So we told everybody we would open up the phones. I've just been basically talking about the President Trump's 37 counts of being indicted. Of course, he pled not guilty on his way back to Bedminster. We'll hear from him later tonight. I'll watch that so we can talk about it tomorrow. I have watched both of these CNN town halls featuring Chris Christie and Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Did
you see the one with Nikki Haley?
I did not see Nikki Haley's, but I am actually going to watch that tonight. Can I tell you, I totally missed the fact that she was even doing one. And I have to watch Gavin Newsom's with Sean Hannity because I want to see that as well. Because that's the idea, to get the information. That way you can make an educated choice. And it goes back to what I was saying a second ago. I'm typing back to these people during the breaks. I'm like, when they're saying, hey, he can run as a third party, that is exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You believed that until I told you it wasn't true. And even better, after telling you it wasn't true, told you where to go to look so you can find out it's not true. Here's the best part. You could have easily Googled that yourself. Think about it this way. Has that been mentioned at all in the news anywhere? The answer is no. It hasn't been mentioned about him running as a third party. And you know why? Because everybody on planet Earth, well, I shouldn't say that. People know he can't. Fox News knows he can't. Newsmax knows he can't.
Hey, for a while I thought he could, but then I had to go do some research because I really thought that was what it was. Trump's game plan was he was going to.
So he threw that out.
Slash and burn the Republican Party on his way out the door, start his own party, become an independent candidate, and I thought, well, that's the perfect solution to his problem. Only to find out that that's not allowed.
Yeah, he threw that out there like as if it was a threat,
right?
And then they got checked.
Right.
They're like, oh, maybe you should read too because you can't do that. Well, you can try, but 6 states, you're not going to. You have no chance if you try to do that. You're literally just throwing your hat into the wind. So I told everybody to call. I want to hear these phone calls. If you're a Trump supporter, I have no problem listening to your call. I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to rag on you. I have no interest in making you look foolish. And I mean, if you can make me look foolish, take your shot. I'd love it. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I've looked foolish a ton of times in my life. I'm perfectly comfortable in those shoes. So let's do it. Here we go. Clint, how you doing? Welcome to the program, buddy.
Hey, man.
Hey, Clint.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, brother.
I like the show. I'm new to the area. I'm actually from New Jersey, so I got a little insight, and I wanted to call in about the Chris Christie thing, and just one other thing I wanted to say about Trump.
Sure.
But firstly, Chris Christie's, in my opinion, he's pretty upset that Trump didn't appoint him as Attorney General. He's got an axe to grind with Trump. He's going to say whatever he has to say to try to persuade your opinion. We can't let guys like this, in the Republican Party, we can't let guys like this divide us. They're trying. The Democrats want us divided. We got to stick together like the Democrats. The Democrats are lockstep, man. Whatever Joe Biden's doing, corruption, they don't even care. We got to stick together. Trump's the guy to get the job done. I don't know of any other candidate right now that has, even DeSantis, it's not time for DeSantis yet. Maybe after this term.
Why not?
But
let me ask you, though, why not? Why isn't it time for DeSantis right now?
I just think DeSantis has to kind of politically mature a little bit, and still work out a few things. I do think he's an excellent candidate for president, but just not yet.
Got it. Yeah, and just out of curiosity, you think Trump is mature enough, and his actions are mature, and that's why he should be president again, because of his maturity.
And here's why. No, I'm not talking about Trump maturity. I'm talking about DeSantis.
Got it.
Here's why I say Trump is the guy. Because first of all, we cannot let them divide us any further. We have to stick together. Second of all, I disagree with what you said about Trump always speaking about they're persecuting him, things like that. Trump speaks out on Truth Social 20 times a day.
No, I read it.
He wants to secure the border. He wants to beef up the military. He wants to deal with the illegal immigrants. He wants to put money to different things to better our lives as Americans. He speaks out every day, but you're saying all Trump does is speak about him being persecuted.
Okay, let me ask you this, Clinton. I would agree with you. I do read. I am a member of Trump Social or Truth Social. I read it every.
Why do you say that? All he does is talk about himself. That's not true.
No, but it is true. It is true. When you read his feeds on Truth Social, here's what you need to realize: how many people like those posts? Have you looked at that? It's like right. It's like 16 to 25,000. Do you understand what a drop in the bucket that is? What I'm telling you, he's saying that into an echo chamber, Clint. Why doesn't he get on national television and say things like that?
Because national television doesn't give him the forum. They don't want Trump.
CNN just gave him a town hall.
CNN just let him talk for 2.5 hours.
Excellent.
And
he was excellent.
What did he do? But Clint, all he did during the town hall was talk about how he's persecuted and how Joe Biden should have been this, and he didn't really talk about policy. That's why I said what I said.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay, buddy, that's cool.
One other thing, and like I said, I'm new to the area.
Yeah,
I do
sure.
like the show. I've been listening.
Thank you.
And one other thing, oh man.
No, go ahead.
One other point I was going to try to make. Oh, crap, man. All right, go ahead. I don't want to tie you
No,
up.
that's okay, buddy. I appreciate your Clint. Thanks for your call. Please keep listening. I have no problem with alternative opinions. We just disagree about this guy. Chances are, if we looked at our party and we look down the line, we probably stand for the same things. I just don't think this guy's the deliverer. And I find it also odd that you talk about Trump being able to bring the party together when almost all Republicans that I know, outside of the 12 House members, are saying the exact opposite. Matter of fact, there are a ton of congressmen, senators that are saying the exact opposite, that he's divided this party. He's made you choose between him and like Reagan Republicanism.
It is really weird, as someone who I would consider myself on the left, to see what the right is doing just like the left, in the sense of the left, our go-to move, baby, we eat ourselves alive.
Yeah.
We shoot ourselves in the foot. And I've never seen a splinter in the GOP like this.
Yeah. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I was calling about, you were talking about Hillary Clinton and her scandal with the servers.
Yes.
If you check, it was reported that Trump and his family were doing the exact same thing at the beginning of his presidency.
Yeah, man, I got to tell you, Lori, I appreciate your call, but I mean, that we're talking about what's happening right now. And to be honest with you, I understand the Hillary Clinton argument. I would rather not talk about that because I want to talk about moving forward. I completely understand and I agree. They should have investigated Hillary Clinton, and they should have, if she was guilty, prosecuted. I know they investigated. I understand that, and she was exonerated. I get that 100%.
And she testified before Congress. and probably cost her the election when Comey revealed that they are reopening the investigation right before the election.
And I believe it was like, what, 11 hours she testified?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, 407-916-1041. Hey, Seth, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Hey, so I'm not one to, like, try to pick sides. I do prefer Trump. I do want to see Trump, become president again. I want him to. I do agree the fact that, his Twitter, hey, not a big fan. But as far as the things that happened in my life and in my family, being middle-class construction worker, 4 kids, a wife, I feel like I was living a better life back then. I felt like things were a little easier. I get it. Things change, and that's no big deal.
Yeah.
But I would like to see a fact of being able to understand one thing versus the other versus when you hear Joe Biden speak, what is he even really talking about some of the times?
Yeah.
And then, and really, I mean, I like Donald Trump's actions. I don't necessarily like his words.
Mm-hmm.
I used the word pompous and then another word, but Ross told me I can't use another word.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, thank you for your...
To describe Donald Trump. I do plan on voting for Donald Trump, and for 2 reasons. I'm a huge DeSantis supporter. Do I think his little beef with Disney was worth all the crap that he's going through now?
No.
God, no.
No.
I think he should have just left that one alone. But at the same time, I would love to see Trump at least given the opportunity to jump back in there with his pipelines and trying to build an oil dependency versus relying on others, try to bring things back to America, bring more work. And I work with, legal and illegal immigrants all day long. And I'm nothing against them. Do I think the border should be secured and locked down? Of course I do. Let's work with what we're working with now, and let's help them become, a part of society to where they're paying taxes like the rest of us. Of course,
I got you, Seth. Let me ask you a question because I'm short on time, and I want to get to these other calls real quick.
Yeah, of course, go ahead.
I want to ask, why wouldn't you vote for Mike Pence? And just out of curiosity, I'm going to ask you this. If you haven't looked at CNN and seen his town hall, I would suggest you do that. He has almost identical policy as Donald Trump. Why wouldn't you think about voting for Mike Pence?
I'll tell you the truth. It's not that I wouldn't necessarily think about voting for Mike Pence. That's not out of the realm of my possible thought process.
Thank you, Seth. I appreciate that very much. 407-916-1041. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Carlos.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, brother. How's it going?
How you doing?
Good, man.
I'm good, thank God. Just want to say, first of all, man, I appreciate all you guys there.
Thank you.
Starting from Ross, Spell Like Sauce, Deborah, Jack, you, and I mean, you guys are awesome every single day, man. And I appreciate you guys being there. I just like to say, I'm one of those. I'm a New Yorker first and foremost, and I was born and raised in New York, and I moved to Florida, and I got to see how different the things are here. But the thing that I just want to say, first and foremost, is that Donald Trump. It doesn't matter who is Republican, who is Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're orange, black, blue, with polka dots. As long as you're for the people and doing what you have to do, that's fine. When you get a person who comes in with so much trash behind them, and, they bring that trash along with them, and that they're...
Yeah. Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I think your phone dropped out on us. One thing I would ask Trump supporters to do, the people who are fervent about him, and I completely understand that, I would tell you to watch the Mike Pence thing, and I'll tell you why. Pence's policies are almost identical to what Trump wanted to implore, but without the drama behind it. So I can't understand. The reason I asked the Mike Pence question is I want to know if that person had been influenced by the anti-Pence MAGA movement, which I think is ridiculous because Mike Pence, again, was right there with him the entire time and only got vilified when he wouldn't break the law and go against the Constitution of this country to do something that he wasn't even empowered to do. He is a good man. He stood up when he was supposed to stand up. And because Trump supporters won't get behind him because Trump has called him a loser and said all these things that are completely and utterly untrue about the guy, I find it fascinating that nobody could just go, hey, I mean, Trump is basically, or Pence is basically Trump, or DeSantis has been called little Trump, but they won't even consider those people. And that's part of the attitude that I can't get beyond. Let's go to Dave here. Hey, Dave, how you doing? Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Jim? So I'm not going to get too deep into this. I agree with some of the caller before the last guy. I think I really agree with a lot of what he said. I did vote for Trump the first time around, and then once he got on social media and just started spitting off at the mouth and saying stupid things and really personally attacking a lot of people, I kind of second-guessed that vote. I think that Trump did a lot of good things for this country and for the American citizens, but at the same time, I also think that when the January 6th thing happened, I think Mike Pence really got a raw deal, and it was really unfair to him. And I really am going to kind of dial in on Mike Pence and Nikki Haley just to see. I think Ron DeSantis has a good shot, but I do agree with the other guy that said that, he kind of needs to get his political feet. I mean, he's been the governor of Florida for a while, but he really needs to get his political feet firmly on the ground. I like him because I'm a Navy veteran. He's a Navy veteran. But I really do think that Mike Pence does deserve a really good shot. Well, he's got the same policies. He's got a very calm demeanor. He's not brash, and he's not very outspoken.
And, buddy, listen, I'll tell you something, Dave. I got to go, but I got to tell you, buddy, you got to watch the CNN town hall. The guy is stoic, and he knows these things inside and out. When you listen to him talk, he's informed. He knows it. He's not saying maybe, should, woulda, maybe. I've heard. People are saying. He doesn't say any of that. He knows this information like the back of his hand. You got to pay attention to that. Now, I'm not even saying he's the candidate I would vote for. I'm just saying if you're a Trumper and you know that this guy can't win, and he cannot, I'm telling you straight up, I would bet anybody in this audience money that this guy cannot win in 2024. If you think about getting somebody in there that at least has a shot, he's the closest to Trump that there is because he was right there. He did one thing that Trump didn't agree with, and Trump turned on him like a dog. Immediately turned on him because he wouldn't break the law. He wouldn't go against the Constitution.
Plot twist? I think I might take you up on that bet. I'm in a win-win situation.
Yeah, do it.
Because if Trump wins and I get bummed up and I win $100.
Yeah, or I didn't say 100.
Well, whatever it would be. But, if I lose the bet, then I'm like, oh, whatever.
Jack, let me ask you. You're a really well-informed guy. You think Trump has a chance in 2024?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. No chance.
And
he can't win the independents, right?
And so selfishly, I want to see him as the nominee.
Yeah, and listen to that.
Yeah, listen to Jack.
I mean, that's the truth right there.
Right there.
Democrats want this guy on there because they know he can't win.
Yeah.
He can't get the 7 to 10%. So every time that you're voting for this guy, you're voting for a guy who is dead in the water. He cannot win. It cannot win. He will not, cannot win. And that's what all of this is about. I've never met Donald Trump. I don't know him personally. He seems like kind of a fun guy to be around. Likes golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, like does the whole thing. But the fact is he can't win this election. Joe Biden can certainly beat him. Established, and the independents will vote for Joe Biden before they vote for Donald Trump. But they will vote for somebody who isn't Donald Trump, who comes in with a more, I can't say moderate, but with at least a fresh idea without the baggage.
Donald Trump might be the only candidate that Joe Biden can beat.
From a lifelong party voting Democrat.
And you've brought this up also to me in private and today on air. I think it's really important to kind of just remind people that when you talk about elections, it really kind of boils down to about 4 or 5%.
It is 7 to 10% is the independents that really swing votes. I mean, you can go back and look at elections, especially the last two, and see that.
So, if you're on the right or if you're on your left and you're really passionate about your base, they're not really fighting for you anymore. They're fighting really for the people who are like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't like the blind support. That's the thing I think that is the thing that, and here's the other thing too. Somebody texted earlier, and I got to go because we're late already, and said, well, the religious right will vote for him. That's not even a solid now, guys. That's not even a solid. Even religious institutions have started to second guess. There's so much baggage. The rape indictment thing was a bigger deal than you believe.
Believe it or not.
I mean,
what an insane time.
But again, I would ask anybody to go back in the Rose Garden and look at the way he held the most holy book. The most holy book. You base your entire life's ethos, the way you raise your kids, the way you were raised. Look at how he holds that book. Do you think Donald Trump really upholds Christian values? Do you really believe that? I would love to see the evidence of that. That's the thing I can't understand of all of these things. I grew up in the most religious right community you can possibly. I bet Putnam County is 85% Donald Trump. 85%, maybe more. And I can't understand why the religious right and the Christian right hold this guy up when they have Mike Pence, who is a devoted man of faith. I don't understand it. That's the thing. I think of all the things, all the hurdles that I would have to clear, that's the one I couldn't get. I can't wrap my hands around it. I can't. Like everything. All right, we're way late. We'll back in a second. You can load them up for last call. We'll do that next.
Real radio is the news junkie.
I feel like old man yelling at clouds when I see it, and I go, "That's not fun." Yelling at
An
clouds.
old man yelling at crowds is what they call a Biden rally
Yeah.
in some states.
The News Junkie. Weekdays at 11 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Rude Air Conditioning Weather Center, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Ian Cassett with your Central Florida forecast. Mild through the rest of this evening with likely quiet weather. We'll see temperatures remain mild even the overnight hours, only a low of 76 degrees, and that's going to begin a warm day on Wednesday. High of 95 degrees with feels like temperatures in the low hundreds, so make sure you're staying cool and hydrated. We'll have an isolated chance of rain in the afternoon. Otherwise, this heat continues the rest of the week. For the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Ian Cassett.
This report is sponsored by Fountain Blue's Summer Paradise Getaway.
Fountain Blue Miami Beach is your summer paradise getaway. Taste incredible food from 8 casual and fine dining restaurants, or spend an out-of-the-ordinary night at Live Nightclub. Save up to 25% plus. Receive up to a $100 resort credit when you stay 4 nights or more, June through September. Book now at fountainblue.com.
Inflation running high. Who knows when it's going to level out? That's why you got to buy your windows and doors at FAS right now. Lock in your price. They have the largest window and door showroom. You can actually see these things, 38 of them, ready for you to operate and pick out your favorites. They're all built with impact-resistant glass to give you security, noise reduction, and maximum efficiency. They have a full selection of hurricane windows and doors. Perfect time of the year for that. And estimates are always free. And even better, they give you plenty of options. You don't just have one thing, tons of options. All products have a lifetime warranty. And if you act now, how about this? $55 per window rebates or $95 per door rebates. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 months. Financing is available. Showroom's easy to find. Fairbanks and I-4. Slide in, pick out your favorites. Your house is going to feel wonderful. Your AC will work less, which means it lasts longer. And, of course, it will be safer as well. It's FASWD.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey shoppers, this is your local farmer letting you know that Florida watermelon is in season and available in the produce section right now. Whoa, hey, careful now. There's plenty of juicy watermelon and other tasty Florida-grown produce for everyone. I mean, all you have to do is ask for Fresh from Florida or look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo while you shop. We're going to need a lot more help at checkout.
Home title theft. It's on the rise, and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert, and that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Do you have information about a violent crime? Help solve crimes with your anonymous tips at crimeline.org. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your tips make a difference. Say it here. It's anonymous at crimeline.org. Paid by CSTF.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hogue, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before. Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Look, some choices in life are complicated. Others, thankfully, are much simpler, like choosing Truist One Checking. There are no overdraft fees, lots of practical perks, and when your life evolves and account balances grow, we'll upgrade your perks automatically. Truist One Checking. One simple choice. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Slowed down, held back, inhibited. What you get out depends on what you put in. Rejuvenate your engine's performance with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, because true performance knows no bounds. New and improved Shell V-Power Nitro Plus removes up to 100% of performance-robbing deposits to rejuvenate your engine's performance. Continuous use in gasoline direct injection engine fuel injectors.
Sponsored by Life Imaging FLA. Now open. Call pound 250 keyword free heart scan.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show, also available to watch at The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
All right, welcome back to The Jim Colbert.
How about Jimmy's Yacht Rockets?
That's not bad. I like Screaming Eagle, though. That's pretty darn good. Maybe Yacht Rockets is not bad. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. We do have one line open for last call if you want to grab that one. A number of people texting me during the break asking me about issues. Their finances were better under Trump. Border was better under Trump. Understood. Listen to me closely. A Republican can do that for you. It doesn't have to be Donald Trump. Those are Republican values. It's not Donald Trump's values. These are values that have been with this party for years before Donald Trump ever thought about being a Republican candidate. You don't need that guy to institute those policies. If you believe in those policies, a Republican could do it. Mike Pence believes the same exact thing with no drama. He doesn't embarrass our allies. He doesn't put our military and the personnel at risk to satisfy his own odd ego. Just consider that. That's all I'm saying. Just consider that. People who are hardcore voters of Trump, just consider another candidate. You're going to have to. All right? And the RNC should have been doing this a year and a half ago, but they're not because Ronna McDaniel's a dummy. She should have weaned everybody off of Donald Trump years ago and made a stand as a real leader and said, look, we need to move on. This guy's costing us seats. That's what should have happened. But everybody up there's gutless, and they won't stand up to him. They're afraid. Real quick, though, because the base will have to change.
But it's like I was surprised with January 7th. I think January 7th was as much of a surprise to me as January 6th was because I thought that was I thought that moment was going to happen.
I can't even get into all that. I mean, there's so much. Anyway, 407-916-1041. Deb, who do we have to thank today?
We want to thank Sam Bowen and Candace Rich for running our YouTube chat.
All right. That was quick.
I want to thank God.
Jack, we have a question of the day?
We do. We posted it on our social. We invite you to join and vote. And it's brought to you by MyHomeBuildersNetwork.com. And it was based on an earlier topic. Do you feel you know a good amount about your parents' life before they had kids? like when your parents were
Right,
younger.
right.
On Twitter, 71% said no, they do not.
No, that's a big. Isn't that the weirdest thing?
Yep, 66% on Facebook in the gym members group, and it's 59% no. So
Yeah.
they're a little more closer with their parents on the YouTube chat.
I would tell you, Deb, do you believe that's a cultural thing? In Europe, do you believe that families know more about the history of their families than they do here in this country because of the youth of our country?
No.
No, you don't believe so?
No, because I mean, think about it. Think about the things you haven't told your children about your life experience.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm talking about. It being a cultural thing here in the U.S. Do Latino families do that?
Oh, no, I don't think
No.
that
Okay.
you wouldn't be telling children like adult kind of like secrets.
Gotcha. Ross, stand up.
Yeah, this Thursday.
Couple
it's going
days.
down, man. The Orlando Improv. I'm going to be working with my friend Dwayne Williams. It's going to be a hoot and a blast.
Very good. Ross Paget Comedy on all social media platforms. Let's get to it right now. Stacy, last call.
Hey, first of all, I love Captain Jack Yet Rock on Sunday morning.
Thank you very
so much. And all you guys are so awesome. Jimmy, where does a boat go when it's sick?
I don't know. Where does a boat go when it's sick?
To the dock.
That's just what I needed today. Is her joke. Chris, last call.
Mr. Glutes of a God, Mr. Ross.
Yep.
You got sauced by your wife.
Yeah.
I loved it. I fell in love with my girlfriend after that first fart. Now we got fart battles going on.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
That's a different way of
It
playing
is
Battleship.
Odd. Dusty, last call.
Hey, my friend, I got to disagree with you on one point, if I may.
Sure.
When you said that you don't belong in that chair, I absolutely disagree with you. I think you are a master of intelligent, logical, and critical thinking. And thank you for the points you made today, my friend.
Thank you, Dusty. I appreciate it very much. Dusty only does that because he knows how much I abhor compliments. Mike, take us home. Last call.
You look nice today.
Shut up, man.
I love that Stacy girl. Stacy, keep calling. Mike Buzzer Larson him. Jim, what birth group does Forrest Gump identify with?
Man, I have no idea. What birth group is that?
Gen A.
That may be an all-timer.
Okay.
That is so good.
The reception was a little rough there. What generation is Forrest Gump from? Gen A.
Too good, Mike. Too good. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you back and good to hear you smiling as well. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Big show coming up tomorrow. Animal House. Scott Maxwell, plus your calls, texts, and talkbacks. And, of course, if there's anything we learned tonight from President Trump, we'll bring that to you as well. On behalf of Deb, Jack, and Ross, I am Jim. We follow the news junkie. They follow the monsters in the morning. After us, it's Tom and Dan with the corporate time and our friends from Real Laughs. We'll see you tomorrow for more of the Jim Colbert Show at 3 o'clock. Until then,